Chapter 262. The others also nodded in agreement. Not long after, the few of them approached the location of the battle. Just 2 men and 1 woman, fighting an enormous spirit-eating flower. Only right now, the 2 men had already fallen to one side, leaving only 1 woman, fleeing in all directions. The 3 wore the Academy's uniform. It's a 1,000-year or so spirit-eating flower. Tang Sen glanced at it, saying, "This kind of spirit beast is comparatively difficult to deal with, but it's also quite powerful. Unfortunately, it's a 1,000-year one. If it was 3,000 or 4,000, it should be more suitable for Zhuqing. Because this kind of spirit-eating flower has a characteristic. As long as it causes the opponent a wound, it can increase the opponent's spirit power consumption. Extremely troublesome." Everyone suddenly understood. As a spirit beast encyclopedia, Tang San explained it clearly. "This girl seems pretty." Suddenly, Ma Hongjuan's eyes brightened, looking at that woman fleeing in all directions. This woman's face was like snow, long hair fluttering. Even though she was fleeing right now, her expression somewhat nervous, it couldn't conceal her gentle and moving temperament. Dai Mubai and Oscar's eyes also brightened. "Third brother, let's attack." Ning Rongrong said, "This spirit-eating flower isn't strong. With Fatima's phoenix, it's the most effective against this kind of plant spirit beast. Moreover, this spirit-eating flower is also injured right now. I'll add Fatty's status. We should be able to defeat it in 1 move." Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing also nodded. Tang San sized up that woman for a moment, not discovering any problems, then said to Ma Hongjun with a smile, "Fatty, I'll give you a chance to be a hero and save the beauty." Ma Hongjun had long since been impatient from waiting. After Ning Rongrong added his status, Ma Hongjun directly rushed out. "Phoenix possession." Ma Hongjun jumped, his mind incomparably excited, in his heart saying, "I didn't expect that I, Ma Hongjun, would also have the chance to be a hero and save the beauty. Last time was still in Suatawa City, and my strength was inferior. This time, I, Ma Hongjun, will finally have the chance to display my awe-inspiring might." He was like a deity descending to earth, consecutively using his 3rd spirit ability, Phoenix Heaven Ascension, flying into the air, then spitting out a phoenix fire wire from the air, directly falling on that spirit-eating flower. Finally confidently landing in front of the woman. "Many, many thanks," the woman whispered. Hearing this voice, Ma Hongjuan's bones went limp. He turned around, intending to properly get to know her. However, the moment he turned around, what greeted him was not the woman's soft and beautiful cheeks, but a huge fist. Bang! Under the fist, Ma Hongjun was like a spinning top, flying backwards several times in the air, smashing into a distant tree. Everyone was stunned. At this time, they saw the woman looking at Tang San and the others in the distance, smiling and saying, "It's you guys, right? Not even a little vigilance. If I was the enemy today, this fatty would have already died. Next time, I won't let you off so easily." Her voice was low, elegant, sounding slightly neutral. Finished speaking, the woman suddenly disappeared on the spot, as if a gust of wind had blown past, directly causing everyone to be shocked again and again. "Did you sense it?" Dai Mubai's whole body shrank, looking at Tang San. "No, too fast without a sound," Tang San said in a low voice. "What's going on?" Ning Rongrong was still a little confused. As if thinking of something, she suddenly said, "Could it be that she's that 6-ringed spirit emperor?" Tang San nodded his head with a heavy expression. Everyone was slightly startled, except for Tang San. The others had somewhat forgotten. Because this group of people walked over, they did not encounter any attacks. They did not expect that they would actually meet like this. The 6 people walked to Ma Hongjuan's side. Just now it was clearly just a punch, but now Ma Hongjuan's whole face was swollen. After a while, he slowly woke up. What's going on?" Ma Hongjun felt that his brain was still a little mushy, looking at everyone. Tang San said in a low voice, "Just now, it should be a trap. That 6-ringed spirit emperor appeared. It's that woman just now. She deliberately tested us, but we did not notice. We also did not expect that she would actually use this kind of method. What? The six-ringed spirit emperor is a woman? Ma Hongjun also remembered and could not help but wail. Why is it always me who suffers? She disguised herself too well, Tang Xin thought for a moment and said in a low voice, I'm afraid that this trip will not be so easy. Moreover, I feel that she may not be a woman, but deliberately disguised, otherwise Grandmaster and the Dean would not lift the mask as the goal to pass the test. Oscar helped Ma Hongjun up and said a few times, this six-ringed spirit emperor is not simple. We have to increase our vigilance. I don't know what the situation will be if we meet her face to face. Tang Xin looked at Ma Hongjun and sighed. He used our kindness, which normal person would be indifferent to a beautiful woman being chased by a soul beast. It would be fine if he did not have the strength, but to us, it is very easy. Moreover, I'm afraid that he knows Fatty very well. He knows that your soul skill is the best at restraining plant-type soul skills. And in addition, you are very lecherous. Seeing this kind of situation, he will definitely want to be the hero to save the beauty and be the first to stand out. We are still too relaxed. Everyone nodded. Continue. This time, we must not casually come into contact with others. The seven of them continued forward. Behind them, Grandmaster, Flinder, and Lu Erlong followed. That is Xiaofeng. Lu Erlong said in astonishment. This disguise is too good, isn't it? I couldn't see it. Grandmaster thought, Xiaofeng's disguise technique is not ordinary. We didn't discover it. Those seven children most likely didn't discover it. Ma Hongjun, this child, still can't change his temperament. I hope this time we can teach him a good lesson. Flinder laughed heartily a few times, saying, Let's go. Let's keep up. The color of the sky gradually darkened. Nightfall. We should find a place to set up the tent. Today should end here. Tang Xin said, finished speaking, glancing at Grandmaster's trio behind him. In the night of the sunset forest, because the vegetation was not dense, one could see a sky full of stars. Wow, quickly come look, so many beautiful little bugs. At this moment, Xiao Wu's somewhat excited voice reached them. Tang San and the other men looked to the side, only to see in the distance suddenly floating over many little bugs emitting rainbow light. Little San, these bugs, will they be dangerous? Dai Mubai somewhat vigilantly watched. These are rainbow light bugs. Tang Xin shook his head, saying they belong to the lowest class of spirit beasts, very rarely seen in 100 years, for the most part only 10 years. No danger in the night sky will emit rainbow light. Only those spirit masters with ordinary spirits will absorb this kind, generally used for household lighting. Even in big cities, very few use this kind. Only in relatively remote villages will spirit masters use this kind. Hearing Tang San's explanation, the several people also suddenly understood, one after another nodding. So beautiful. Ning Rongrong used her hand to catch a rainbow light bug, her eyes sparkling. The others also curiously caught one after another. End of this chapter. Chapter 263. At this time, it seems there are also different colors. Xiao Wu's playful nature was very heavy. With one hand grabbing quite a few, she looked to the other side and discovered there were still other colored little bugs, also using her hand to grab quite a few. Ning Rongrong also ran over to grab. Zhu Zhuqing's technique was the most accurate, successively grabbing quite a few, afterwards using a bag to tie them up. The bag emitted a sparkling light, looking exceptionally beautiful. Oscar was also quite interested in grabbing quite a few. Smiling said, Besides looking good, don't tell me these bugs are not dangerous at all? In this night sky, these specks of light added a bit of beauty to the scene of several people. Dangerous? Tang San stared blankly, thinking for a moment before saying, Speaking of dangerous words, there are, unless... Saying this, suddenly, Tang San's whole body abruptly went cold. He fiercely faced Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, and Zhu Zhuqing, the three girls, loudly shouting. Xiao Wu, Rongrong, Zhuqing, quickly throw out the bugs in your hands. Xiao Wu stared blankly, just about to throw out the beautiful little bugs caught in the bag. The next moment, the bugs in her bag disappeared. With a bang, an intense burst of light Mist erupted. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing's bags of bugs also suddenly exploded into bursts of light mist. This light mist emitted light, exceptionally dazzling. The mist also seemed to carry a special mist, extremely unpleasant, causing several people's expressions to change greatly in an instant. A wave of nausea hit them, their whole bodies somewhat weak. Danger! Tang San was relatively close. Practically as soon as he finished speaking, he wanted to go over to Xiao Wu. As for the others, under this intense light mist, Oscar, Dai Mubai, and Ma Hongjun almost subconsciously closed their eyes. Tang San directly activated his purple demon eyes, did not close his eyes. But the moment it was activated, he could only barely catch sight of a ghost-like figure rapidly passing through the crowd. Xiao xiao xiao. Bang bang bang. Apart from Tang San, the others seemed to be directly sent flying by a huge force, directly smashing to the ground. Bang! In Tang San's purple demon eyes, the opponent's figure completely disappeared, followed by a huge force, attacking from behind. Too fast. Tang San's blue silver grass had just bloomed in his hands. He had not yet used his martial spirit, but he felt a terrifying force blasting him from behind. With a thud, he smashed to the ground. Before the light fog dispersed, the 7 people had already fallen to the ground. Your vigilance is still too lacking. The 7 of you are too weak. A slightly ice-cold mocking laugh seemed to come from all around. Just like this, don't talk about lifting my mask. You can't even touch my shadow. The voice fell. The light fog was quickly shaken away by an enormous ball of energy. It was precisely Flinder's trio rushing over. However, the figure had already disappeared. The 7 of you, are you all right? Zhao Wuji looked at them and couldn't help but laugh. The 7 people were currently lying on the ground, 7 or 8 in a row, their bodies all imprinted with a footprint. Bloody noses and swollen faces, their complexions somewhat flushed. Tang Sin was the first to wake up, his expression even heavier, rubbing the back of his shoulder, feeling that it was still somewhat painful. Not long after, the rest of the people also slowly crawled up from the ground. Brother, what was the situation just now? Xiao Wu rubbed her lower abdomen. She had just received a kick and was directly sent flying. Ning Rongrong also crawled up, her head and face covered in dirt. There was also a footprint on her, but Zhu Zhuqing was still all right. There was a footprint on her lower back. Fuck, I didn't even have time to react just now. I felt like I was sent flying by an enormous force. Ma Hongjun rubbed his right shoulder. Oscar and Dai Mubai also stood up, their complexions somewhat unsightly. That ice-cold mocking laugh just now, they had also heard very clearly. It's a rainbow light bug and the green firefly. Tang Sin coughed a few times, sighed in a low voice, and said, These 2 are very weak soul beasts. Most of them are only a few years old or more than 10 years old. It is generally difficult to distinguish. They are very weak. Even ordinary people can kill them. Either one of them is not dangerous. But if the 2 of them come into contact, there will be a violent burst of light fog, causing us to temporarily lose our vision. If we do not use our martial souls in advance, it is very easy to be hit. In this light fog, there will also be an extremely unpleasant gas erupting. It will affect people's minds. This is a very unorthodox soul beast knowledge. If Oscar did not ask me in advance just now, I would not have thought of it. After listening to this, everyone became silent. These 2 kinds of insects are very beautiful at night. Just now that the 6-ringed Soul Emperor knew that Xiao Wu and the 3 of you girls will definitely collect these insects, Tang San sighed and said, Once collected, the 2 kinds of insects will come into contact, and there will definitely be a burst of light fog. We were very close to each other. In an instant, we were all hit. He waited for an opportunity, and almost without using any strength, he knocked all of us down. If it was an enemy just now, we would all be dead. Hearing this, everyone felt a chill in their hearts. This 6-ringed Soul Emperor is not only terrifyingly strong, but he also has all kinds of traps. Tang Sin also felt a slight chill in his heart. In fact, in that kind of situation just now, we still have the ability to fight back, but he is really too fast. I am afraid that he is an agility-type soul master. Just now, my eyes were open, but I did not clearly see his appearance. I can only hear his voice. After listening to Tang San, the other 6 people suddenly felt a little afraid. Grandmaster, who is this friend of yours? So powerful? Ma Hongjun rubbed his face. He still had not recovered from that punch in the afternoon. Old injuries had not yet healed, but new injuries were added. Especially these injuries, they were not fatal, but they were painful. What? Now, you know how powerful he is? Flender could not help but laugh. Before we came, who said, a mere 6-ringed Soul Emperor wants to attack a Shrek's 7 devils. It is not so easy. Ma Hongjun, the few of you, this is already the 2nd time. Lu Erlong shook her head, but you don't even know his appearance. His build, his clothes, his specific strength, you all know nothing. If you want to remove his mask in this kind of state, it should be possible in your dreams. Grandmaster also looked at them and said, you all can apply to lower the requirements. Lowering the requirement of removing the mask to seeing the other party's appearance or forcing the other party to use spirit abilities, you all will be considered to have passed the test. Everyone was silent. Before coming, everyone was full of confidence. Although a 6-ring Soul Emperor was powerful, they were still a 40th ranked team, and even a gold fighter spirit team. Now their strength had greatly increased. How could they be afraid of a 6-ringed Soul Emperor? But they did not expect that in 2 confrontations, they did not even see the other party's appearance. How could they still play like this? All right, rest first. You guys arrange for your night watch. Flender coughed a few times and walked into the tent with Zhao Wuji. I and Mubai will keep watch. Tang San's expression was incomparably grave. One person might not be enough. When it's time to rotate, 2 people will also form a team. This 6-ring Soul Emperor is much more difficult to deal with than those 10,000-year spirit beasts. We can't continue like this. End of this chapter. Chapter 264. Why didn't he attack us openly? Ma Hongjun couldn't help muttering. There were 7 of us. Would he be stupid enough to attack you openly? Xiao Wu glared at Ma Hongjun. Ma Hongjun laughed awkwardly and walked into the tent. Oscar also walked into the tent after handing the mushroom sausages and roasted sausages to the 2. I'll go too, Xiao Wu said in a low voice. No need. Xiao Wu, you go sleep. Tang San shook his head. This 6-ring Spirit Emperor is too powerful. Conserve your energy. On this trip, we won't only have to face spirit beasts. This 6-ring Spirit Emperor might be our greatest enemy. Xiao Wu made an O sound and walked into the tent. I feel a bit defeated. Dai Mubai stood beside the bonfire. I feel like we're already very strong. In the 2 confrontations, even though the opponent is in the dark, we seem to be completely under his control. The enemy is in the dark, and we're in the light. He's Grandmaster's friend. His understanding of spirit beasts and spirits is definitely stronger than ours. Tang Sin pondered and said, we can only force him to fight us directly. Only then will we have a chance to pass the special training test. If only I reacted in time. Dai Mubai patted Tang San's shoulder and said, don't be so unduly humble. If I had arranged it, the situation would have been even worse. Tang San nodded slightly and suddenly thought, if Brother Phone was here, I wonder what he would do. Dai Mubai shook his head. How would he know? But presumably, he wouldn't be so passive, right? With that monster captain's ability, at this time, in the other tent. This brat is really powerful. Zhao Wuji said in a low voice. The 7 of them will probably suffer a big blow this time, right? Speaking of which, we also didn't see what he looked like. Doesn't this mean that his attack and disguise are very good? Flender said with a smile. The 2 talked. At this time, they suddenly heard a burst of rustling sound coming from the side. Erlong, don't do this. I don't care. I've already waited for more than 10 years. You can get my body, but you can't get my heart. We're brother and sister. You can't do this. I don't care. I've held it in for more than 10 years. I don't want your heart. I want your body. Xiao Gang, stop torturing us. It's already been so many years. Can't you release your heart? Zhao Wuji and Flinder were speechless. Zhao Wuji, turn off your listening ability. Flinder leaned towards Zhao Wuji and then tapped on his body a few times. He didn't want to listen to a live erotic show. Flinder, what kind of rotten idea is this? Zhao Wuji also tapped on his body a few times and quickly turned off his listening ability. In the past 6 months, Grandmaster and Lu Erlong could only be said to have barely recovered their relationship, but the two of them had never been intimate. Grandmaster had always been avoiding her, but Lu Erlong couldn't find an opportunity. That was why tonight's scene happened. Erlong, let me go. No, if you don't let me go, how can I turn around to look at you? Fortunately, at this moment, Flinder and Zhao Wuji had both turned off their listening ability, so they couldn't see or hear anything. Otherwise, the current posture of the two of them would be unusually ambiguous. Just at this moment, a loud roar suddenly came from outside. There's a spirit beast attack. Everyone be careful. In an instant, the room quieted down. Outside, Tang San's expression was solemn as he looked at the huge spirit beast in front of him. It looked like a scorpion, and its whole body was snow white. The scorpion tail on its back had no less than 9 joints sticking up high, emitting an intense cold light. At the end of the tail was a fiery red stinger. Almost at the first moment, Dai Mubai was the first to fight, facing the flames spurted out by the stinger. King of Earth, I didn't expect to actually encounter this kind of spirit beast tonight, Tang San said in a low voice. At this moment, the few people from Shrek also quickly walked out of the tent, looking at this spirit beast one after another. Go! What's going on? This shouldn't be the doing of that 6-ring spirit emperor again, right? Xiao Wu walked to Tang San's side and asked. Tang San shook his head and said, I don't know. What kind of spirit beast is this? Ma Hongjun glanced at it. Should we go? King of Earth. It's a kind of fire attribute high-grade spirit beast. This King of Earth is roughly around 4,500 years old. Quite suitable for you, Fatima. Tang San thought for a moment and said, Let's go. That 6-ring spirit emperor shouldn't attack us today. Everyone nodded, just when the few of them were about to attack. At this moment, from another tent, a figure directly rushed out and rushed towards that King of Earth. That manic figure almost instantly made the few of them stop in their tracks. It's Teacher Erlong, Xiao Wu said in surprise. Why do I feel something's not right? The few of them looked over and their hearts trembled slightly. They only saw that the current Lu Erlong, although her clothes were somewhat messy, her entire person seemed to have gone crazy, directly rushing towards that King of Earth. Her face still had a bit of craziness, making the few of them tremble with fear. The 7 spirit rings on her body suddenly lit up, and then a fire dragon directly appeared from her body, densely packed scales instantly covering her whole body. Her mouth roared out a dragon's roar, startling this pitch-black night sky. Spirit Avatar. The few of them were also stunned. They didn't expect that Lu Erlong would actually use Spirit Avatar to deal with a 4,000-year King of Earth. Isn't it too terrifying? Dai Mubai was directly sent flying by a pillar of fire from the King of Earth. Right now, looking at Lu Erlong, who was using Spirit Avatar, directly rushing towards the King of Earth, his face was completely lifeless. Using Spirit Avatar, Lu Erlong could actually be said to be rising step by step. Immediately after, everyone's hearts were chilled looking at this scene. The King of Gaia was directly crushed by Lu Erlong, who had unleashed her martial soul true body. As the more than 4,000-year King of Earth, its strength wasn't weak. Even if it encountered Tang San and the others, it wouldn't be difficult to escape. Unfortunately, he was targeted by Lu Erlong, who had activated her martial soul true body. If it had 10 or 20,000 years, it might still be able to fight, and even if it couldn't win, it could still escape. Unfortunately, it was only 4,000 years. In Lu Erlong's hands, its scorpion tail was grabbed, and like a windmill, it smashed on the ground. It was also at this time. Suddenly, waves of pink mist began to spread all around. This mist came incomparably fast. In an instant, it covered the entire camp. You guys, be careful. This mist might be poisonous. Flinder and Zhao Wuji, who had just come out of the tent, shouted, the two of them feeling that the situation wasn't right. Quickly using spirit power to shake off the pink poison mist in the surroundings. But very quickly, this pink poison mist once again converged. This pink mist was somewhat fragrant and sweet, making people have a kind of immersed feeling. Even their blood flow sped up somewhat. Careful, this isn't ordinary miasma. Oscar detoxifying sausages. Tang San's purple demon. I scanned the surroundings, his heart slightly alarmed. When entering the forest, in order to prevent the miasma in the forest, he had given them several miasma pills that could prevent miasma, but it couldn't block this pink mist. It seemed that this giant Earth King wasn't acting alone, but rather had companions. Not long after, under the surveillance of Purple Demon Eye, Tang San saw pink scorpions in the distance, using their tails to emit pink mist. Chapter 265. It's a soul beast. Looks like it's not just the king of the earth. Teacher Lu, be careful. Don't breathe in this mist. The blue-silver grass in Tang San's hands spread out in all directions, sensing the number of soul beasts in the surroundings. He was secretly alarmed. These two types of soul beasts seemed to be working together, so it wasn't a coincidence. Could it be that the six-ringed Soul Emperor was behind this? Everyone, activate your martial souls. That six-ringed Soul Emperor is likely to come, Tang San warned. Needless to say, the rest of them had already activated their martial souls. Evidently, they were already fearful and on high alert. Seeing this, Tang San quickly took out the delicate silk immortal treasure that he had plucked from the ice and fire yin-yang well. The light purple stamen was like a brick, emitting a bright luster. Almost at the moment it appeared, it emitted a purple stream of air, quickly driving away the pink mist in the surroundings. This item could defend against poison, and was the nemesis of this pink mist. Everyone, don't leave this area. Dean, Grandmaster, Teacher Zhao, come here too. Tang San said in a low voice, this pink mist is caused by a soul beast. I didn't expect that the king of the earth wasn't alone. It probably still has companions. Grandmaster, tell Teacher Lu to come back quickly. If she continues fighting like this, if she absorbs the mist, I'm afraid she'll go crazy. Grandmaster frowned slightly, shouting towards Lu Erlong, who was in the middle of tyrannizing the king of the earth. Erlong, come back. Right now, the already tyrannized king of the earth still had a few breaths left, and his body could still be considered intact. If it had been a while longer, he reckoned his whole body would have been torn apart by Lu Erlong. Lu Erlong, hearing these words, coldly snorted. Looking at the king of the earth that still hadn't died, she returned to Grandmaster's side. Only her expression was extremely ugly, seething with anger. Grandmaster, this friend of yours from the Spirit Emperor, can even control spirit beasts? Ma Hongjun wiped his cold sweat. Grandmaster shook his head and said, not necessarily. It's possible that the two spirit beasts came over themselves. Hearing these words, Lu Erlong's expression worsened somewhat. Teacher, the one releasing the pink mist should be the Pink Maiden. At this time, Tang San said in a low voice. Pink Maiden, what is that? Xiao Wu curiously asked. It's also a kind of scorpion-type spirit beast, similar to this king of the earth, classified as a poisonous spirit beast, but its toxicity is very weak. Generally, its whole body is pink. That's why it's called the Pink Queen. Grandmaster frowned at the side and said, so much mist. I'm afraid it can't be one Pink Maiden. Yes, there's more than one. Tang San looked around. I'm afraid there's more than 1,000. I didn't expect them to actually appear here. But I didn't sense the aura of that six-ringed Spirit Emperor. I don't know if this is his doing. Hearing the number of more than 1,000, the few of them were stunned. If it's really him, I'll have to teach you a lesson later. Lu Erlong's expression was somewhat ugly. She thought to herself, if it's really Lin Feng commanding these spirit beasts and interrupting my good deed, whether it's a coincidence or not, I'll beat you up. If it's more than 1,000, then I'm afraid the Pink Queen is among them. Grandmaster was silent for a moment, then said, only this kind of Pink Queen that mutated from a Pink Maiden can control so many Pink Maidens. Pink queens are usually at least 3,000 years old and also need to swallow 100 of their own race to evolve and mutate. According to my guess, I'm afraid this pink queen and this giant earth king are a pair. That's why they attack together. Tang Sin pondered, this kind of poisonous mist released by the pink queen has the effect of making people go crazy. This kind of spirit beast is considered a very good match for Oscar. And that giant earth king, to Fatty, should be the most suitable. That giant earth king's vitality is extremely tenacious. A pity. Grandmaster sighed. I'm afraid this pink queen wants to create an opportunity for the giant earth king to escape. I reckon it doesn't want to attack us. Hearing this, everyone suddenly understood. I'll rush out and slaughter these two spirit beasts. Oscar, give me 2 detoxifying sausages. Lu Erlong said coldly, without the slightest fear. Right now it's night. This poisonous mist covers such a large area. Wanting to find the pink queen in a short time is not so easy. If we encounter other spirit beasts, it'll be even more troublesome. Tang San suggested. Teacher Lu, it's better to wait for daybreak. The pink queen only wants to cover the giant earth king's escape. It won't take the initiative to attack us. Moving at night was the most dangerous, because they didn't know what kind of spirit ring they would encounter, plus everyone's vision was limited. If they were entangled, it would be extremely troublesome. In addition, everyone had been hurrying for a day, and were also exhausted. No, I can't let this beast leave like this. If we wait until daybreak, we basically won't be able to find it. Lu Erlong said furiously. Dai Mu Bai and the others watching were alarmed. Not knowing what had happened, Lu Erlong unexpectedly flew into such a violent rage. What Little Sand says makes sense. Erlong, don't let your emotions affect your decisions. Grandmaster said in a low voice. Even if it's not dangerous to the 3 of us, what if something happens to the 7 of them? I'll go alone. Lu Erlong glanced at Oscar. Oscar was quick-witted, not knowing whether he should make small sausages for Lu Erlong or not. Erlong, what Xiao Gang says makes sense. Flinder coughed several times, also dissuading. The sausages won't last very long. If you go alone to chase, you will inhale this fog for a long time. It will also be extremely uncomfortable. If you encounter other spirit beasts, it will be very dangerous. If we are attacked by other 10,000-year spirit beasts here, the situation will be even worse. These spirit beasts were also quite crafty, not acting alone, but rather together. Lu Erlong didn't speak. Just at this time, suddenly, the pink poison fog, with a speed visible to the naked eye, rapidly dispersed. Everyone was immediately shocked. Immediately afterwards, they saw a figure slowly walking over from the distance. His entire body was draped in a white robe, wearing a black mask. His physique was well proportioned. Most importantly, in his hands, he was carrying 2 incomparably large spirit beasts, completely incompatible with his physique. Seeing this, everyone was somewhat stunned. He just walked out from the shadows, and the 2 spirit beasts in his hands. Everyone could also see them very clearly. One of them was precisely the giant Earth King that had just been enraged by Lu Erlong, but managed to escape in time. And the other was completely pink, about the same size as the giant Earth King. Its entire body seemed to be carved from crystal, and on its head were 6 eyes. It was precisely the Pink Queen. The fading pink poison fog was also precisely emitted by her. However, these 2 spirit beasts were not dead, just left with a single breath. This mysterious white-robed, black-masked figure walked to about 10 meters away from them and abruptly placed the 2 spirit beasts in his hands on the ground, letting out a dull thud when they hit the ground. No need to chase. I brought these 2 spirit beasts back for you. Little fatty, didn't you want Tang Dang to really attack you? That figure let out a cold, mocking laugh. I'll give you a chance now. The 7 of you, before you fall, if you can touch the corner of my robe, I'll give these 2 spirit beasts to you. Hearing this, everyone was instantly stunned. They did not expect that these 2 spirit beasts, unknowingly, had already been captured by someone. It's that 6-ringed Soul Emperor. Tang San's words instantly caused the other 6 to return to their senses. Chapter 266. After returning to their senses, the 6 hearts abruptly tensed up. Among them, Ma Hongjun was the most nervous. Don't tell me he was always nearby, able to hear our conversation? Ma Hongjun stared at that figure in front of him. He remembered very clearly what he had said just now. He hadn't expected the other party to actually appear. 2 confrontations, even though each time it was the other party who had laid a trap for them. The 7 of them hadn't been able to deal with it even once. But now, the other party had directly appeared, and even brought 2 spirit beasts that they needed incomparably. Flinder, didn't you sense him just now? Zhao Wuji said in a low voice. I didn't sense him at all. This was indeed somewhat frightening. He was a 70th ranked spirit sage, and Flinder's 4-eyed cat-eagle spirit should reasonably have a clearer perception, if he also didn't know. Flinder shook his head, looking at Lu Erlong. Don't look at me, I also didn't sense him. Lu Erlong indifferently said. Lu Erlong's words immediately shocked Zhao Wuji and Flinder, because among them, Lu Erlong was the strongest. If even she didn't sense him, that meant Xiao Gang. Is he really Xiao Feng? Flinder pushed up his glasses. Even if Xiao Feng was even stronger, it was still impossible for them to not sense him, right? Being able to hear Ma Hongjuan's conversation just now meant he was definitely nearby. It should be him, otherwise he wouldn't need to capture these 2 spirit beasts. He might have obtained some kind of aura concealment spirit ability. Grandmaster shook his head. I don't know what spirit ability he has, somewhat formidable. Even you were unable to sense him. Being able to make even a spirit sage unable to sense his surroundings, this spirit ability was probably not an ordinary kind of strong. Then now we'll just watch? Zhao Wuji scratched his head. Then let's watch. Lu Erlong walked to one side, her whole body still emitting an ice-cold aura, just in time to see their strength. Seeing this, Flinder also sat to one side, his eyes slightly narrowed. Before falling to the ground, if they can touch the corner of their clothes, it's considered a loss. Listening to this tone, it's definitely Xiao Feng. It's just that it's a bit big. Not just big. The 7 people looked at that mysterious 6-ringed spirit emperor in a white robe and black mask. Their hearts all gave birth to a faint anger. Then let's give it a try. Tang Xin took a deep breath and said, if it's a frontal battle, we have a chance of winning. According to Grandmaster, a 6-ringed spirit emperor's special training would attack them at any time. But the previous 2 confrontations were all traps, especially the last time. It could be said to be an extremely cunning trap, which led to the instant annihilation. If it was a frontal battle, then the 7 of them had a very high chance of winning. Moreover, the other party's requirements were so low. Even a spirit level powerhouse dared not say that in front of the 7 of them, they could not even touch the hem of their clothes. Most importantly, there were still 2 soul beasts. This was very important to them. They had to win. Are you ready? The mysterious person's cold voice. No emotions could be heard. The opponent is an agility-type spirit emperor. He will be very fast. Be careful. The blue-silver grass in Tang San's hands rose up, countless tentacles and vines enveloping the waist of the other 6. Attack. The moment Tang San's voice fell, the 7 all moved. Fine. Tang San's spirit abilities were the fastest to launch. He needed the first time to test the specific strength of this 6-ringed spirit emperor. Dai Mubai's white tiger body enhancement. His whole body suddenly swelled, platinum light flickering as he charged towards the mysterious person. Xiao Wu borrowed Tang San's hands, directly jumped into the air, attacking the mysterious person. Purple light flashed, and the fastest Zhu Zhuqing immediately arrived in front of the mysterious person. Her spirit having evolved into a serene moon fairy. Her speed was so fast that even a 40-something ranked agility-type spirit master wouldn't be inferior. Purple golden claws in the pitch-black night sky drew an ice-cold arc, attacking towards the mysterious person. But the mysterious person didn't dodge. Both claws instantly fell on the mysterious person's mask. Zhu Zhuqing was startled. She was hit so easily, but when she touched that mask, Zhu Zhuqing's heart chilled. a dangerous aura rising from the bottom of her heart. The mutated serene moon fairy actually had an extremely special effect. That was, at night, her strength would explosively increase by 50%. It could be said that at night, she was the strongest of the seven. Even if Tang Sen didn't use hidden weapons and the 8 spider lances, he still couldn't beat her. Careful, that's an afterimage. Suddenly, Tang Sen shouted. Unfortunately, the speed of sound transmission seemed to be even slower than the opponent's movement speed. When Zhu Zhuqing's claws touched the mask, she knew that the opponent basically wasn't in his original position. It was only because he moved too fast that it created an afterimage. Behind, an afterimage appeared. Pung! A palm instantly sent Zhu Zhuqing flying close to the 2 spirit beasts behind her. Tang San's blue silver grass, trapped at her waist, couldn't even react. Too fast, Tang San muttered. This already exceeds our reaction speed. At night, Zhu Zhuqing's speed and reaction is already very fast. That palm just now, Zhu Zhuqing only slightly turned her eyes back and was hit. Careful of his speed, Tang San's 3rd layer purple demon, I once again surveyed the surroundings, wanting to clearly see the opponent's figure. But even the 3rd layer purple demon, I could only barely make out the afterimage the opponent left behind. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, Ning Rongrong's 9 treasure star tile pagoda slowly brightened, several rays of light falling on the 3 people. Because Zhu Zhuqing's speed was too fast just now, Ning Rongrong's incantation hadn't even fallen, and then she was sent flying. At this moment, Ning Rongrong's boost fell on them. The 9 treasure star tile pagoda's group boost was extremely frightening. From 30th rank to 40th rank, each spirit ability's boost increased by 10%. Adding the 20% additional boost after mutation, each of her spirit abilities reached a terrifying 70%. The further back, the more exaggerated the boost. This was the boost attribute of an ordinary 70th rank, 7 treasure, glazed tile, pagoda, spirit master. Several rays of light fell on everyone. His gaze also fell on Zhu Zhuqing, who was a little further away. The next instant, their strength sharply increased several times. Fine. After obtaining the boost, Tang San felt his purple demon I see even more clearly and brightly, just barely able to catch the opponent's silhouette. Mubai, be careful behind you. Just as he finished speaking, unfortunately, even though Tang San's warning was very timely, it was still a beat too late. White Tiger Protective Barrier. Practically at the same instant Tang San spoke, the long time of tacit understanding let Dai Mubai use his spirit abilities, his whole body lighting up with a faint light barrier. Pung! The next moment, this light barrier broke. The enormous force directly sent Dai Mubai flying backwards, smashing towards the distant Tang San. Seeing this, Tang San swiftly used tree root blue silvergrass, catching Dai Mubai. Xiao Wu, careful! Just catching Dai Mubai, Tang San fiercely shouted. I felt it. He's on my right. In midair, Xiao Wu used her body's softness, bending into a U shape, dodging the whistling fierce wind kick. This kick practically brushed past her lower abdomen. But when Xiao Wu still felt lucky, she saw the opponent's calf directly turn in midair and stomp down. Dong! Xiao Wu's lower abdomen was hit, once again kicked flying. Fortunately, because the opponent's kick suddenly turned, the force would be reduced by more than half, adding the blue-silver grass at her waist for her to block the majority of the impact, and also the last instant the opponent's foot raised to her lower abdomen. Xiao Wu used teleportation, only withstanding a small part of the force, letting her barely support herself on the ground. End of this chapter. Chapter 267. Fatty. Use that move. Tang San was drenched in cold sweat. The opponent's speed was too fast. There was simply no time to warn him. In the face of absolute speed, unless one had absolute defense, it was simply impossible to resist the opponent's attack. But the opponent's strength was also not weak. Could this be the speed of a 60-something ranked agility attack type battle spirit emperor? How could it be so fast? Impossible. He clearly hadn't even used his martial spirit yet. And his spirit ring. This kind of crushing was unreasonable. Blue silver grass. Tang Sen clenched his palm. The countless blue silver grass that had finally been prepared quickly interweaved in the air into a giant net cage, lying horizontally in front of everyone. The opponent's speed was too fast. He could only create this kind of terrain to weaken the opponent's speed. Moreover, the opponent was wearing a white robe. In the dark night, it was exceptionally eye-catching and could be considered to have greatly reduced the difficulty of defending. This was also the crucial point that Tang San's purple demon eye was able to detect the opponent's figure. If the opponent's entire body was incomparably black, it would be difficult to fuse with the dark night. The sky was filled with blue silver grass. If the opponent wanted to attack, he could only cut the blue silver grass. As long as everything was cut, Tang San could instantly detect the opponent's position and prepare to defend or attack in advance. But using blue silver grass like this consumed too much spirit power. At this moment, the blue silver grass giant net in one direction rapidly collapsed. Found you. Tang Sen looked towards that direction, only to see a white silhouette in the midst of cutting the blue silver grass net he had formed with extreme speed. Phoenix fire wire. A pillar of fire immediately shot out in that direction. Within the giant net formed by blue silver grass, his speed was substantially restricted. To first move, he had to first cut the blue silver grass. Otherwise, he would be entangled. The pillar of fire swiftly shot in that direction, blue silver grass swiftly igniting. White tiger meteor shower. At this moment, Dai Mubai also stood up, his whole body erupting with a burst of aura, countless golden specks of light appearing all around, then suddenly exploding in the direction of the flames. This was his fourth spirit ability, a large area of effect spirit ability. Each speck of light could cause a tenth of his own strength to injure the enemy. Right now, the opponent had been discovered and trapped with great difficulty. Naturally, he had to attack with all his strength. Countless specks of light, like shooting tongues of flame, attacked the location of the flames. Within the explosion of these specks of light, the flames burned fiercely, seemingly without any blind spots. Soaring flames and the sound of explosions completely roused the dark night. Quick, eat some roasted sausages. Oscar threw a few roasted sausages to them. These moves all consumed an extreme amount of spirit power. You should be injured, right? Boss Dai's white tiger meteor shower will produce a violent explosion within the flames. Its might will increase by a level. Xiao Wu gasped a few times, bewildered and uncertain looking ahead. Her reaction could be considered very fast. When Tang San discovered it, the Phoenix fire wire had instantly ignited that area. Adding on the white tiger meteor shower, the explosion had no blind spots. In the distance, Zhu Zhuqing also walked over, solemnly watching. These three people's combined skill was thought up by Tang San, specially used to deal with enemies that were too fast. Against this kind of enemy, single target attacks practically had no effect because they could not hit. Purely crushing speed, any single target spirit ability basically had no effect. Just like when Zhu Zhuqing went up first just now, she could only touch an afterimage and was sent flying in one face. If not for Xiao Wu's teleportation ability, swiftly reacting at the moment of crisis, perhaps the result would also be the same. Even if she used teleportation, she would still be a beat slower than the opponent. Very clearly, they could only use this kind of special method. First, using Tang San's blue-silver grass net to perceive the opponent's general direction, creating a large area of flames, adding on the white tiger meteor shower's bonus, detonating the entire battlefield. But Tang San felt a faint unease in his heart as he watched. Suddenly, a ghastly voice rang out behind them. "What are you looking at?" Hearing this, in practically the next moment, the 8 spider lances appeared on Tang San's back. Countless blue-silver grass madly surged behind him. The others instantly scattered, not even turning their heads back. Incomparably horrifying. Space boundary. At this time, that mysterious person muttered in a low voice. The next moment, he seemed to have entered space-time freezing, his eyes flashing with a sharp light. The seven people's movements seemed to be slowed down by 10 times. He first grinned, unhurriedly walking, directly receiving the blue-silver grass surging towards Ning Rongrong. Immediately afterwards, he walked in front of Oscar, taking down the 2 mushroom sausages he was about to eat, and stuck them into his nose. Then he pressed down Ma Hongjun, who was flying in midair, just touching one of Tang San's 8 spider lances. Dai Mubai, Xiao Wu, and Zhu Zhuqing. He bound the surging blue-silver grass to their feet in one go. All of this happened in a fraction of a second. In the space boundary state, his body's perception increased by 10 times, equivalent to the opponent's speed becoming 10 times slower. But this had extremely high demands on his body's quality. Otherwise, he basically couldn't enter. This was his greatest achievement in this half-year of fighting Air Ming in the Stardo Great Forest. The growth of the space boundary. Withdrawing from the space boundary, the surroundings swiftly returned to normal. A strange scene appeared. Ning Rongrong was directly bound into a large rice dumpling by the blue-silver grass. Oscar's face was red, withdrawing the mushroom sausage from his nose, repeatedly gasping for breath. Ma Hongjun issued a miserable shriek because his arm was once again cut open by Tang San's 8 spider lances. Xiao Wu, Dai Mubai, and Zhu Zhuqing tripped over the blue-silver grass under their feet. The 7 people instantly became a pot of porridge. Only Tang San managed to stand where he was, blankly looking all around, and the 4 people watching the fight to the side suddenly stared wide-eyed. This is Lu Erlong, whose heart was originally burning with anger, also looked on with a shocked expression. Even the anger she had just now disappeared. With her line of sight, just now she had practically only seen that white silhouette, as if turning into a ray of light, shuttling back and forth between the 7 people. And then it became like this. Too fast, Flinders said in a low voice. Completing these movements practically in an instant can make them attack each other. Don't tell me this is also a kind of special spirit ability? I remember Douluo has a similar time-freeze spirit ability that can achieve a similar effect. But that's his 8th spirit ability. No, just now wasn't time freeze. His speed was too fast. Lu Erlong shook her head. If it was an area of effect spirit ability like time freeze, we would also feel it. But just now we didn't feel it. This is more like a kind of special battle state. Lu Erlong, known as Slaughter Corner, was the one who had experienced the most battles among the 3. Vaguely able to understand this kind of special situation, but not completely clear. If they were like this, let alone Tang San's group. When they returned to their senses, 3rd brother, how did your blue-silver grass trap me? Tang San, how did your 8 spider lances injure me? I'm dying of pain. Who stuffed my mushroom sausage up my nose? Go. Why did you use blue-silver grass to trap my and Zhuqing's feet? End of this chapter. Chapter 268. Tang San looked at the several people lying on the ground, incomparably stunned. Returning to his senses, the corner of his mouth also twitched. What happened just now? As if thinking of something, Tang San drew a cold breath, looking at the distant white silhouette standing gracefully on the blue-silver grass. Not bad. Their coordination is very tacit but still very weak. Even though they didn't touch the corner of my clothes, I'll still give you 2 spirit beasts. Next time it won't be so simple. Ha. That white silhouette suddenly disappeared in the air, coming and going without a trace. After a good while, the several people just managed to crawl up. Tang San also quickly sucked out the 8 spider lances poison for Ma Hongjun. The party looked at each other in dismay. What happened just now? Ma Hongjun murmured, how could I fall on Tang San's 8 spider lances in the blink of an eye? That's right, you even used blue-silver grass to bind me? Ning Rongrong was also very angry. Xiao Wu, Zhu Zhuqing, and Dai Mubai also walked over, their complexions somewhat unsightly. Tang San said in a low voice, just now in a split second, that 6-ring spirit emperor changed our positions. He suddenly appeared behind us. I'm afraid he used some kind of special spirit ability, able to make his speed similar to true lightning, changing everyone's state in an instant, resulting in this kind of effect. Hearing this, everyone was stunned for a while. When the difference in speed and perception between us reaches a huge value, I will be able to defeat you. To him, we are motionless. Zhu Zhuqing seemed to be able to understand, and said in a low voice, "When I attacked him just now, I had this kind of feeling." "That's right, that's what I mean." Tang Xin shook his head and said, "The difference in strength is too obvious. A 60-something level agility attack-type battle spirit emperor. How can it be so exaggerated? Unless it's some kind of special variant spirit. Just now, when Fatty's Phoenix Fire wire fell on the blue-silver grass net I weaved, I'm afraid he had already disappeared and appeared in the darkness behind us." Hearing this, everyone's hearts went cold. At this time, Flinder and the others also followed over. "Teacher, this friend of yours? In the end, what kind of spirit is it?" Tang Xin couldn't help but ask. "I've never seen this kind. You said 6-ring spirit emperor. I also didn't see him use a spirit, not even a spirit ring." Grandmaster was silent and didn't answer. "All right, you guys. Oscar, Fatty, the two of you hurry up and kill those 2 soul beasts and absorb their soul rings. While the sky still isn't dark." Flinder indifferently said, "What's the point of asking so much?" "We also don't know. You ask us what?" Zhao Wuji to the side secretly said, "That kid Lin Feng, it seems he's become even stronger." The 7 people were silent for a while, not saying much. This battle could be said to have ended very quickly. Moreover, it was still finished in a crushing manner. The 7 people believed that even if it was Dean Flinder or any one of Lu Erlong, they still wouldn't be able to accomplish this step. Of course, this was also because they didn't know anything about the other side. But even more was because of the enormous gap in strength. Seeing the 3 teachers not say anything, Oscar and Ma Hongjun could only go absorb the spirit rings. These 2 kinds of spirit beasts were both the most suitable for the 2 of them. This 6-ring spirit emperor really is very strong. Ning Rongrong hammered her shoulder. Just now, with the help of blue silvergrass, there was poison on top, and Ning Rongrong right now felt her body was still somewhat soft. Zhu Zhuqing and Xiao Wu also entered the tent, intending to rest. Although this battle was short, it was too tiring. I didn't expect Grandmaster to still have such a formidable friend. Xiao Wu rubbed her feet. Just now she was tangled by blue silvergrass. The 3 people had maintained an extremely fast charging momentum, suddenly being tied up by blue silvergrass, their feet pulled red. Zhu Zhuqing also rubbed her feet. Under the tremendous pulling force, even a spirit master's body would still produce pain. Only those 2 spirit beasts seemed somewhat different. While rubbing her feet, Zhu Zhuqing recalled the special wounds she had just discovered in front of the 2 spirit beasts, sinking into contemplation. "If only Wang Feng was here," Ning Rongrong said with a face full of expectation. "If he was here, we shouldn't have lost so miserably, right? Once we return to the academy, we can see Wang Feng." This was currently the matter she was most looking forward to, even more than obtaining a spirit ring. "Brother Feng, I also feel it's not very possible. This 6-ring spirit emperor, I feel very strange." Xiao Wu shook her head. "His various designs clearly all have a very good understanding of us. I reckon Grandmaster told him all our information, but until now none of us have run into him." At this time, Zhu Zhuqing opened her mouth, saying, "Half a year of secluded cultivation, he should also be even stronger." Xiao will look distracted, nodding. "Seems so. Let's rest first. Right now we're just missing Zhuqing, Rongrong, and Brother Spirit Ring." The 3 talked in the tent. Outside in the campfire, Zhao Wuji's party also talked. The night gradually passed. 7 people, they've become a lot stronger. In the night sky, a white silhouette lifted his mask, gazing at the full moon in the sky, still able to make me use the evolved empty realm. Wang Feng revealed a trace of a smile. In the starred Do Great Forest, after half a year of secluded cultivation, his spirit power had just barely reached the 45th rank. Therefore, Wang Feng focused most of his energy on the battle with the Titan Ape. It had to be said that Ming's battle strength was extremely terrifying. Wang Feng was completely no match for Ming. According to Wang Feng's estimates, if they were to fight for real, he might not even be able to defeat Ming at rank 70. This was especially true now that Wang Feng had received that stick from Ming. Wang Feng felt that even rank 70 and above were unfathomable. However, during this half a year of abuse, Wang Feng's greatest improvement was in his battle with the Empty Realm. This was because he fought under Ming's gravity domain every day, which was extremely helpful to understanding the Empty Realm. Originally, the Empty Realm greatly increased the body's senses, allowing it to react in all sorts of minute ways and dodge the enemy's attacks. But under Ming's training, Wang Feng's Empty Realm became more and more proficient, and it also rapidly grew. Even now, after entering the Empty Realm, Wang Feng could even temporarily resist Ming's gravity domain. The Empty Realm involved Wang Feng's understanding of every single muscle and bone in his body, as well as his spiritual power and senses. After entering the Empty Realm, Wang Feng's senses were enhanced by more than 10 times. His spiritual power was circulating in a frenzy, and his brain was in a state of extreme stress, similar to a CPU that was overclocking. In this state, he could control every single muscle in his body in minute detail, and his speed was greatly enhanced. This could be said to be an improvement in his understanding from Ming's beating. After all, Wang Feng had been beaten by a 100,000-year soul beast that was comparable to a titled Daluo's domain for half a year, so there was no way that he hadn't improved at all. The current Empty Realm had already become one of Wang Feng's greatest trump cards. However, entering this state would have an extremely severe impact on his body. It was just like how overclocking a CPU would damage a computer's motherboard and CPU itself. If your motherboard hardware wasn't up to par, it wouldn't be able to support this overclocking state. Using it for a long period of time was naturally even more difficult. Apart from that, without the Black Hoop spiritual skulls, spiritual power amplification, and perception soul skills, it would be very difficult to enter this state. End of this chapter. Chapter 269. With Wang Feng's current physical quality, he had to open the second gear, hide the Xianming armor, and add the Black Hoop spiritual skull, and he could only enter the Void Realm for a short minute. He still couldn't enter the first gear. But in this minute, Wang Feng was almost invincible. Unless it was a super strong agility attack type spirit Douluo, it was impossible to detect his speed and perception. Although Tang San's group of 7 was very strong, their decision-making was good, and their use of spirit skills was also very good. But in this kind of crushing state, there was no chance of victory. It was also impossible to touch the corner of Wang Feng's clothes. If it was Wang Feng's first gear strength, he could still touch it. But after entering the second gear and opening the new form of the Void Realm, even if all 7 of them obtained the 4th spirit ring, it would be very difficult to achieve. Consider it the first time I'll use this evolved Void Realm in actual combat with you guys. Wang Feng said with a smile, "Tomorrow I'll let you guys see the effect of the God-slaying spear. Feel the berserk spirit beast?" The next day, Oscar and Ma Hongjun had already completely absorbed the spirit rings of the 2 spirit beasts. Both of their 4th spirit skills were very strong. Ma Hongjun absorbed the King of the Earth's spirit ring and obtained the spirit skill Phoenix Cry Sky Strike, which had 2 stages. Within a range of 5 meters, the first stage could make the opponent dizzy, and the second stage could produce magma to attack the opponent and cause a lot of damage. But it required Tang San's cooperation, because this was a kind of move that needed to accumulate power. If he left the range in the first stage, then the result would be nothing. And Oscar's pink sausage could improve his overall state by 10%. They were both very strong spirit skills. Although their spirit skills were very good, the 7 of them weren't too excited about last night's miserable defeat, but instead were extremely calm and collected. Grandmaster, who saw this situation, revealed a trace of a smile in his heart. This was exactly the effect he wanted to see. The 7 children in front of him were all very talented. They also had a tacit understanding. but they needed someone to supervise and spur them on, so that they wouldn't get carried away and become arrogant and willful. This person had to be young, to make them feel a sense of defeat. Naturally, it could only be Wang Feng. He already has the state of a king's teacher. Grandmaster thought in his heart, this year's Continental Advanced Spirit Master Tournament won't be simple. If they want to go further, they need this kind of tempering. The group of people shuttled through the forest. Although the Sunset Great Forest wasn't large, it still required several days to walk out. But the quality of spirit beasts really couldn't compare to the Stardow Great Forest. For more than half a day, the group of people had gained nothing. Fortunately, the six-ring Spirit Emperor that Tang San's group of 7 were worried about also didn't attack them. It seemed that because of last night's battle, it gave them a chance to breathe. They didn't have any harvest for a day. The remaining 3, because they all wanted to find the most suitable spirit beast, and with Grandmaster here, naturally had stricter requirements. Close to night. This day, without that six-ringed Spirit Emperor's attack, although Tang San's group of 7 were still vigilant, they also let out a breath in their hearts. Teacher, continuing to search like this isn't a solution. Tang San looked at Grandmaster. Flinders said, I have a way to quickly attract spirit beasts, but it's rather dangerous. The 4 looked at Tang San. Continuing to search like this would waste too much energy. If there was a good method, that would naturally be the best. What method? Grandmaster asked. Tang San took out the aromatic silk beauty immortal treasure from his 100 treasures pouch and said with a smile, This item is an immortal treasure. If I nourish it with medicine, it can emit a special fragrance. Because this medicinal herb is a treasure, the fragrance it emits will attract spirit beasts. The 4's eyes brightened. This method isn't bad. It's just a bit dangerous. What if it attracts too many spirit beasts? Flinder pondered. Unless there's a place that can block these spirit beasts. Is the place where you and Dugu Bo cultivated in seclusion still there? Grandmaster's heart moved and asked. It is. There's a poison formation there. Even spirit beasts around 10,000 years old won't dare to casually enter. Let's go there for the time being. Tang San said thoughtfully. He thought that even a 6-ringed Spirit Emperor wouldn't dare to come to that place. This way, they could temporarily avoid conflict with the other party. After everyone obtained their 4th spirit skill, they should have a chance to pose a threat to him. Only then would they have a chance to pass the test. After they finished discussing, they hurried to the ice and fire yin-yang well. After not coming here for half a year, Tang San discovered that this place was still very beautiful when he came again. After finishing everything, the fragrance of the aromatic silk beauty immortal treasure slowly spread out. Everyone also waited quietly. Not long after, a low roar came from the front, bringing with it a gust of wind. Seeing this, Flinder and Lu Erlong immediately became vigilant. It's a tiger-type spirit beast, Grandmaster said in a low voice. Tang San, this time you kill it yourselves. Be careful. As soon as Grandmaster's voice fell, Tang San and the others saw a multicolored tiger scuttle out of the mountain forest. It was a completely black tiger. Apart from a white pattern on its forehead, its body was more than 4.5 meters long, and its shoulder height was close to 2 meters. What was even more strange was that its eyes were blood red. Be careful, it's a 5,000-year ghost tiger, Tang San said in a low voice. The ghost tiger is a spirit beast with extremely powerful attack and speed. It's incomparably fierce. As he spoke, Tang San and the others began to fight with this ghost tiger. The ghost tiger had a special ability, Shadow Doppelganger. Usually there were 3, but this one was older. It could transform into 4 different doppelgangers to attack, and it was difficult to distinguish. Dai Mubai's White Tiger Light Wave and Tang San's Spiderweb Restraint each broke a doppelganger. Ma Hongjuan's Phoenix Fire Wire also broke one. But this ghost tiger seemed to be incomparably berserk. In a flash, it again split into 4, rushing towards that medicinal herb. For a moment, everyone was caught off guard. Fortunately, Tang San had purple demon eye and could clearly see the doppelganger. It was the second one from the left. After distinguishing, Tang San directly used spiderweb restraint, slightly controlling this ghost tiger's momentum. Right now, in the circumstances of night, Zhu Zhuqing's speed was the most terrifying. Even if this ghost tiger directly rushed over, it was still impossible to injure her. In addition, Tang San's spider web restraint slowed down the momentum. After Zhu Zhuqing dodged, she directly used her third spirit ability, Hell Chop, attacking the ghost tiger. Purple golden claw images merged into one, as if becoming a purple golden sharp blade, cutting at the ghost tiger's flank, pulling out a wound where the bone was visible. However, such a powerful attack, that ghost tiger that had broken free from the spiderweb restraint seemed to not sense it at all. With a roar, without any momentum, it rushed in Ning Rongrong and Oscar's direction. Seeing this, everyone was gobsmacked. Zhu Zhuqing's attack was so powerful, and this ghost tiger was also seriously injured. How could it not sense it at all? This ghost tiger is somewhat strange. There seems to be a wound on its back. It's already gone mad. Under the observation of Purple Demon Eye, Tang San immediately said in a low voice, Rongrong, little Ao, eat the mushroom sausage. Avoid this ghost tiger. End of this chapter. Chapter 270. Originally, under Zhu Zhuqing's spirit ability, this ghost tiger's momentum should have dropped greatly, and then Dai Mu Bai and Ma Hongjuan's second attack would have formed. Adding Xiao Wu's final killing blow, it should have been able to make this ghost tiger lose its fighting strength. But clearly, this scene was completely out of their expectations. Ning Rongrong and Oscar were also startled, immediately flying into the air. They didn't understand why this ghost tiger would be so berserk. What's going on? Zhao Wuji and the others were also gobsmacked. He could see clearly. That ghost tiger should have been injured before it came. Lu Erlong pointed at the wound on the ghost tiger's back. That wound made this ghost tiger lose its nature in an extremely berserk state. Even though Zhuqing's attack caused it enormous injuries, in this state, the ghost tiger completely disregarded it. They will fall into a bitter struggle. I wonder how they should deal with such a special situation. Lu Erlong saw it clearly. Flinder also saw it very clearly. Grandmaster's strength was low, and he couldn't see too clearly, but after listening to the two, he silently said, It seems it's possible that he did it. The three stared blankly. You mean it's Xiao Feng? Flinder suddenly understood. Only, how did he make this ghost tiger so berserk? I said, he didn't attack all day. It doesn't match his character. Let's watch first. If they're in danger, then we'll act. Tang San's group of 7 was startled by this ghost tiger's state. But very quickly, after countless battles, they swiftly reacted. Continue to exhaust and restrain it. Even if it's in a berserk state, there will always be a time when it can't bear it. Tang San calmly ordered, Zhuqing, this ghost tiger is very suitable for you. But in this state, it might be very difficult to make it lose its fighting strength. You must look for the right opportunity. We'll create the conditions for you to kill it in one blow. The 7 originally wanted to make this ghost tiger lose its fighting strength, but now they could only change tactics. No need. I have a way. At this time, Zhu Zhuqing walked out, speaking in a low voice. Rongrong, give me full strength. I'll kill it myself. Hearing this, everyone stared blankly. Ning Rongrong nodded, several rays of light directly falling on Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing drew a deep breath, concentrating on the distant ghost tiger, her purple gold claws flickering with cold light. She directly charged over, extremely fast, but this 5,000-year ghost tiger wasn't to be trifled with. It also charged towards Zhu Zhuqing. The next instant, the moment the two figures touched, Zhu Zhuqing suddenly leapt onto the ghost tiger's back. Hellhunter claws, purple gold cold light, continuously flashing dozens of times, instantly streaked across the ghost tiger's back. This was just Zhu Zhuqing's second spirit ability. But this time, this ghost tiger let out an extremely pained roar. Immediately afterwards, it fell to the ground. Everyone was immediately stunned. Even Tang San didn't understand. until Zhu Zhuqing came down from the ghost tiger's back. Zhuqing, how did you do it? Xiao Wu said in surprise. This ghost tiger's vitality should be very strong, and in a berserk state, completely unable to feel pain, it shouldn't be possible for it to be hit by a spirit ability, right? Everyone also crowded over. Only Tang Sen looked at the position where Zhu Zhuqing had just used her spirit ability, suddenly said, "So it was like this. Zhuqing, just now you used Hell Hunter Claws to attack this wound, right?" Tang Sen pointed at the wound on the ghost tiger's back. This wound was a very small scratch. Seemed to be because of this scratch, this ghost tiger was so berserk. Even now, when several people approached, they could feel that this wound contained an extremely terrifying fiendish blood qi. Yes, Zhu Zhuqing nodded. Just now when I attacked at close range, I also saw this wound. I reckon it was because of this wound that it went berserk if I used Hell Hunter Claws to carry out a penetrating attack. Staring at this wound, I can expand its injury. The pain this wound brings him is clearly more effective than any of our attacks. I think, as long as this injury is expanded, that ghost tiger should die in a flash. After listening, everyone was silent. They did not expect that in the moment of close combat, just now, Zhu Zhuqing could actually quickly think of so many things. I don't know who caused this wound, Oscar said with a frown. I always feel it is not so simple. Tang Sen shook his head, also not too clear who caused this kind of wound. There were too many possibilities. But this ghost tiger was extremely berserk when it was alive. Killing this ghost tiger in this state, Zhuqing, you will not have any difficulty absorbing it. Tang San said with a smile. This can be considered the best result. Because this ghost tiger was injured by this wound, it is an extreme pain, but because it went berserk, it did not feel the injury. On the contrary, it wished to die. This wound emits an extremely fiendish aura, making this ghost tiger's soul perhaps somewhat fearful. Being able to kill it, is also a kind of release. Hearing this, everyone slightly understood. Zhu Zhuqing opened her mouth, wanting to say something, but did not speak. Actually, she wanted to say this wound was on the wounds of the two spirit beasts that died yesterday. However, because those two spirit beasts were directly killed by Oscar and Ma Hongjun, and their soul rings were absorbed, you all did not discover it. And because she was sent flying by the mysterious six-ringed Soul Emperor at the beginning, she just happened to land near the two spirit beasts, and coincidentally saw this similar small wound. And because she was sent flying by the mysterious six-ringed Soul Emperor at the beginning, she just happened to land near the two spirit beasts, and coincidentally saw this similar small wound. In other words, this ghost tiger's wound was also caused by the six-ringed Soul Emperor. That six-ringed Soul Emperor has been helping us, and also secretly reminding us. Zhu Zhuqing thought in her heart. Thinking of this, Zhu Zhuqing was about to speak. At this time, suddenly, a burst of earth-shaking sound came from afar. You all go back inside first. I'm afraid there are a lot of spirit beasts. Flender and Lu Erlong walked over. There are at least 30 spirit beasts. Grandmaster listened to the sound and said in a deep voice, and I'm afraid there are more than 10,000-year spirit beasts among them. With Flender and Lu Erlong's observation, they had already noticed it. So exaggerated? Dai Mubai took a deep breath and said, this immortal medicine is quite powerful. There's one more thing that's not good. Flender glanced at them and said, these spirit beasts all have wounds on their bodies. I observed them just now. Each of them has the same wound as the ghost tiger. Among them, there's a 30,000-year spirit beast with this kind of special wound. This means that they're all in a berserk state. When everyone heard this, they instantly fell silent. Although there were many benefits to killing these spirit beasts with special wounds, and it was very easy to absorb them, but it was so easy to kill them, especially those 10,000-year and above spirit beasts. When they go berserk, you won't have a chance at all. All of them have wounds? Ma Hongjun wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Who caused this? So terrifying? Even a 30,000-year spirit beast can be injured. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing said in a low voice, it's him. It's that six-ringed Soul Emperor. When Tang San and the others heard this, They immediately looked at her with incomparable astonishment. 10 o'clock. Cough, cough. Please count the votes. End of this chapter. Chapter 271. Zhu Zhuqing's words made Tang San and the others somewhat stunned. These 30-something spirit beasts, because of the aromatic silk beauty immortal treasure gathering, came from all directions, but to injure each spirit beast and then retreat unscathed, this might be very difficult to accomplish, right? Even more, there were still 30,000-year spirit beasts among them. If it really was like this, just who was that six-ring spirit emperor? Zhuqing's words make sense. Tang San pondered. That six-ring spirit emperor's speed is too fast. Even 30,000-year spirit beasts among these spirit beasts might not be able to match his speed. For this kind of special agility attack type spirit master, as long as his speed can't be restricted, then it's possible to injure these spirit beasts. Hearing Tang San say this, the others also felt it was somewhat reasonable. Zhuqing, how did you think of this? Xiao Wu asked. Zhu Zhuqing then recounted the matter of seeing the wounds on the giant Earth King and the Pink Queen because of the previous battle. Finished speaking, Tang San and the others were slightly silent. Very good. As an agility attack type battle spirit master, Zhuqing, it seems your investigation and analysis have already made very great progress. Grandmaster looked at Zhuqing with an expression of admiration, being able to discover the clues left behind by the other side, and then analyze them, finally making a decision. This is the reason why you could use your second spirit ability to instantly kill that ghost tiger just now, right? If Zhu Zhuqing hadn't discovered that wound last night, she wouldn't have thought so much. And as an agility attack type battle spirit master, besides fighting on the battlefield, she was even more responsible for investigation and analysis, and then passing it on to the commander. The more information she could obtain, the more advantageous it would be for the team. Let's not talk about that six-ring spirit emperor for now. Flinder swept his eyes over everyone. Right now, there are so many spirit beasts outside. First, think about what to do. With so many spirit beasts gathered, even if we directly go out, it will still be extremely dangerous. Adding to the fact that they're still abnormally berserk right now, their attacks will be even more terrifying. More than 30 spirit beasts, ranging from several thousand years old to several tens of thousands of years old. This wasn't something a small team could defeat by cooperating. These berserk spirit beasts, if killed, are extremely suitable for us to absorb. Tang San said with a smile. This six-ring spirit emperor senior didn't personally attack us this time, but clearly this is a test for us. As long as we pass, then we will naturally obtain a lot of benefits. Right now, the only problem is naturally how to obtain the spirit beasts we need from these more than 30 spirit beasts. Tang San's detailed explanation let the others immediately understand the current situation. At this moment, Tang San took off the flying god claw in his hand, saying with a smile, "This might depend on the teachers. I think you all know this thing. It's called flying god claw. It can grasp all kinds of terrain tens of meters away, dodging or climbing." Speaking, Tang San suddenly aimed the flying god claw at a distant giant rock. But similarly, it can also be used to grab things, just that it requires formidable spirit power to support it. A sharp conical hidden weapon suddenly shot out from the front of the god claw, the tough steel wire connecting the two parts. The sharp all pierced into the distant rock hand, instantly forming a giant steel claw, firmly locking this rock in place. Immediately afterward, Tang San's circulated spirit power, pulling back his palm, clawing this rock back. Seeing this, the eyes of Flinder and the other teachers brightened. Using this thing to catch spirit beasts, one might not be enough, but 3 or even 4 is enough to grab the spirit beasts outside one by one. Tang San handed the flying god claw to Flinder and said to Dai Mu Bai and the others, "Mu Bai, little Ao, you also temporarily take off the flying god claw for teacher to use." He had given everyone a set of all kinds of hidden weapons. Dai Mu Bai and Oscar immediately took off the flying god claw and gave it to Flinder and Lu Erlong. Tang San gave it to Zhao Wuji. This mechanism wasn't complicated. The 3 teachers were all old spirit masters. Naturally, they learn it very quickly. Then let's first choose a spirit beast for Rongrong. Tang Xin looked at Ning Rongrong. Wang Feng said before that my fourth spirit ability would be best chosen for defense, best still able to protect myself. Ning Rongrong giggled. Moreover, I feel my body has become a lot stronger. I should be able to absorb even older spirit beasts. Even Oscar can't beat me. Oscar. His golden sausages, amplification, and deliciousness had both risen, but it couldn't increase his own amplification. Unlike Ning Rongrong's 9-treasure star tile pagoda, the star power possessed could still increase the quality of his body. Xiao Feng is right. Your amplification is attack, agility, and spirit power. Next is naturally defense. Grandmaster nodded, pondering for a moment. There's a unicorn-armored beast outside. Its defensive strength is the strongest among these spirit beasts. Even those 10,000-year ones might not be able to compare to this unicorn-armored beast. Moreover, it seems it's still somewhat mutated. Mutated? Tang San was astonished. That's right. Grandmaster pointed outside. This ordinary unicorn-armored beast appearance is black scales. They look like crocodiles. But this unicorn-armored beast is clearly a bit special. Not only is its age just right, even the scales on its back are light purple. It should be a variant scale. According to my conjecture, besides this kind of purple scale armor's even more outstanding defensive strength, it might still have some special ability. This kind of unicorn-armored beast is extremely rare. Everyone looked at that unicorn-armored beast. The scales on its back really were light purple and still carried a black halo. We'll know after we catch it and absorb it. A flame flashed in Lu Erlong's eyes. Without another word, she leapt high, flying god claw shooting out. Flinder and Zhao Wuji hastily followed. This Lu Erlong's temper was too explosive. Even though that purple unicorn-armored beast was a bit larger, in front of 3 formidable spirit masters, it still wasn't enough. It was like being hoisted up by a crane. The unicorn-armored beast's enormous body was directly pulled in, falling to the ground with a thump. Having absorbed the poison formation's poison mist, bound by Flinder's flying god claw, this unicorn-armored beast fell to the ground like a turtle, its abdomen facing the air, but even its abdomen was covered in layers of scale armor. Grandmaster swiftly spoke of this unicorn-armored beast's shortcomings, then let Lu Erlong bring Ning Rongrong to absorb and slaughter this spirit beast. Little San, for your 4th spirit ring, choose this man-faced demon spider. Grandmaster pointed at the distant man-faced demon spider. I think you also know the characteristics of the man-faced demon spider. This 6,000-year spirit beast is the most suitable. Tang San was silent a moment. Even though this 6-ring spirit emperor friend of mine is giving you a test, from the wounds of these spirit beasts, it's very clear that he deliberately drove them over. Grandmaster said, it really was like this. Whether it was that ghost tiger that had just reached the limit of its age, or the purple unicorn-armored beast just now, none of them seemed like they could be encountered casually. Even with the aromatic silk beauty immortal treasure, it still might not be able to attract spirit beasts so perfectly suited to them. Tang San nodded. He naturally understood this point. Therefore, this man-faced demon spider's 6,000 years was clearly chosen by him and given to you. In last night's battle, he had an extremely clear understanding of your strength and spirits. Grandmaster continued. Even though these spirit beasts are numerous, among them are spirit beasts you need. 6,000 years. This was the spirit beast with the highest age in the party. It surpassed the limit of 40th ranked spirit masters. At this moment, Tang San suddenly looked to the other side. Suddenly smiling, he said, but teacher, there's still a 10,000-year pit demon spider there. I think it should be even more suitable. I think this is also that 6-ring spirit emperor's idea. Chapter 272. Hearing this, Grandmaster stared blankly. 10,000-year pit demon spider? Grandmaster naturally also saw it. Only hearing Tang San's words, his expression couldn't help sinking a moment. Wanting to say something, Flinder walked over and beat him to it. No, 10,000-year spirit beasts are too dangerous. Lin Feng's situation is an exception. What would you do if something happened to you? Grandmaster also lowered his voice. Little San, 10,000-year spirit beasts are still too dangerous for you. If you didn't have a suitable reason, I wouldn't agree to you doing so much. Reason? Tang San smiled slightly. There are two reasons. One is because of the Advanced Spirit Master Grand Competition. The continent's Spirit Master elites, if the 7 of us aren't stronger than anyone else, without 10,000-year spirit rings, wanting to surpass the continent's elite Spirit Masters, Grandmaster. Do you think it's possible? Grandmaster stared blankly. Yes, even if the 7 of them were geniuses, how could the continent not have other geniuses? How could they surpass others? Immediately afterward, Tang San continued. The other reason is that 6 Rings Spirit Emperor Sr. First of all, he drove these spirit beasts here, apart from that 30,000-year spirit beast. This means that he also thinks we can absorb these spirit beasts. 6,000-year man, face demon spider, and 10,000-year pit demon spider. They were both choices this senior gave me. Therefore, in his view, I also have the ability to absorb this pit demon spider. This was reverse reasoning, reverse thinking. Grandmaster and Flinders stared blankly again. They knew who this 6-ringed Soul Emperor Senior was. In other words, Lin Feng also thought Tang San could absorb this pit demon spider's spirit ring. Wang Feng would naturally think so. After all, in the original work Tang San absorbed the pit demon spider, and it was impossible for any problems to occur. This pit demon spider was still more than 11,000 years old, and not new. The older it was, the stronger it would be after absorbing it. Grandmaster and Flinder were silent. Further adding the 2 immortal herbs I absorbed, my body has long since been cleansed of marrow and bones, and is several times more powerful than spirit masters of the same level. Therefore, I have 100% certainty I can absorb this pit demon spider. Tang San said confidently. At this moment, Xiao Wu walked over from the side, saying in a low voice, Go, really 100%? After a 10,000-year spirit beast dies, when its spirit ring is absorbed, it will produce a soul shock. Because 10,000-year spirit beasts all possess extremely high intelligence. Their soul consciousness is in the spirit ring. If it's absorbed, this kind of soul shock will produce an extremely terrifying attack on the spirit master's mind and soul. At best, it will turn you into an idiot. At worst, it will directly kill you. This wasn't just for 10,000-year spirit beasts. Spirit beasts with relatively high intelligence would all have this kind of situation. The first 6,000-year golden light, thunder, leopard Wang Feng encountered had this kind of situation. At that time, Wang Feng was still a 6-year-old child. Therefore, generally low-level spirit masters wouldn't absorb a 10,000-year spirit ring. Besides not having enough strength, the mind and soul would also be unable to support it and would need to wait until they were a bit older. Soul shock? Grandmaster stared blankly. He didn't understand this. Yes, my mother told me. Xiao Wu's voice was somewhat gloomy. Xiao Wu, do you know why I said I have 100% certainty? Tang San smiled and said, Because I'm not a 14-year-old child. Adding up my 2 lives, I'm already over 40 years old. My mind and soul might be able to withstand this 10,000-year spirit beast attack. Of course, Tang San wouldn't say this out loud. Why? Xiao Wu asked. It's very simple, Tang San explained. First of all, my purple demon eyes can produce an attack on the spirit beast mind, which can reduce the soul shock effect you mentioned. There's also another more important reason, which is also the safest reason. Have you all forgotten the wounds on these spirit beasts? Tang San continued. These wounds aren't simple. Previously, I felt that these wounds carried an extremely terrifying fiendish qi, causing these 10,000-year spirit beasts to become abnormally violent. Because their souls were originally shaken by this fiendish qi, after we killed them, their souls became very weak after becoming berserk. This is the reason why they were easily absorbed by us. Of course, the enormous spirit power of a 10,000-year spirit beast is indeed not something an ordinary person can withstand. What Tang San said was very reasonable. After Grandmaster finished listening, he slightly nodded. Flinder also didn't say anything more. Brother, Then you go. Xiao Wu lightly laughed. If something happens to you, I will also accompany you. Don't think of leaving me alone. Tang San rubbed Xiao Wu's head, smiled, and said, Don't worry, nothing will happen to me. After the discussion, Flinder and Zhao Wuji, the two people, directly went to catch that pit demon spider outside. The capture process was somewhat dangerous because Lu Erlong was still venting on that unicorn-armored beast. Bursts of sounds came from the ground, making everyone even more afraid of Lu Erlong. And that pit demon spider could only rely on Flinder and Zhao Wuji. But the capture process was still exceptionally dangerous. Because this pit demon spider was in a berserk state, seeing that flying god claw attack, it didn't even dodge, directly using its sharp spider legs to slap it flying, afterwards swallowing and spitting spider silk, twisting this flying god claw and making it completely useless. In such a state, it didn't seem to know fatigue. Even knowing that two spirit sages basically weren't something it could resist, it still didn't flee. Instead, it laid down its special ability, Spiderweb Prison, all around its original position. As soon as the enemy entered attack range, the spiderweb on the ground would activate, instantly trapping the enemy. When it activated, there were no signs or energy fluctuations, and it was extremely difficult to deal with. But as spirit sages, Flinder and Zhao Wuji naturally wouldn't be trapped by a spirit beast ability. To this kind of berserk state, to this kind of spirit beast, it actually substantially reduces its fighting strength. Tang San thought to himself as he watched the battle. The pit demon spider's strength lies in control, restriction, and concealment. But in berserk state, its consciousness is out of control, and it basically won't choose to conceal itself. That wound, just how was it caused? Such terrifying, fiendish blood energy is practically unheard of. Not only did Tang San find this hard to understand, even Flinder and Zhao Wuji found it hard to understand, because with their experience, they had also never encountered this kind of peculiar situation. Tang San took advantage of the opportunity and also used flying god claws to scuttle out a spiderweb restraint binding this pit demon spider. 3 flying god claws embedded in the pit demon spider's shell flesh, bringing it back. But at this moment, Xiao Wu's group in the poison formation on the other side suffered an additional attack. Xiao Wu, under Tang San's purple demon eye, he shockingly saw clearly. It was that man-faced demon spider. Right now, Lu Erlong had already returned, and Ning Rongrong should still be absorbing the spirit ring. Seeing this scene, he couldn't help his heart jump and immediately charged over. Even though Grandmaster blocked in front of Xiao Wu, his strength was limited, and he was basically unable to resist this man-faced demon spider's charge. On the contrary, Xiao Wu directly used her vigorous posture to dodge this 6,000-year man-faced demon spider's attack. However, this man-faced demon spider was in a berserk state, and even if Xiao Wu's strength wasn't weak, continuously using teleportation to dodge the man-faced demon spider's attack, she was ultimately still stabbed in the shoulder blade. At this moment, Lu Erlong also just arrived, and seeing Xiao Wu stabbed, she directly opened Scarlet Dragon Avatar, charging over and violently beating that man-faced demon spider. In just a few breaths, the man-faced demon spider's whole body was burning with dragon flame, falling on the ground, twitching incessantly. Tang San seemed to have gone mad, directly using 8 spider lances, ignoring everyone's shouts, charging in front of the man-faced demon spider. 8 spider lances directly piercing this man-faced demon spider's body, making it issue incomparably painful cries. Lu Erlong walked directly to Xiao Wu's side. Chapter 273. Child, are you all right? Having just vented, Lu Erlong's tone right now was clearly exceptionally gentle. The others also watched closely. Wang Feng was also watching from the shadows. He wasn't very worried, because he saw very clearly that when that man-faced demon spider stabbed into Xiao Wu's shoulder bone just now, it was blocked by something. Wang Feng could clearly see all the battles that were happening right now. Using the Black Hoop Spirit Skull's Mist Shadow Spirit ability, he could hide in surroundings at all times, making it difficult for everyone to detect him. Tang San's Purple Demon Eye was also difficult to detect. This skull was at least 100,000 years old, and even a 60,000-year spirit beast couldn't detect it. Even if Tang San's Purple Demon Eye was even more formidable, it was still impossible to detect Wang Feng at his level. It should be the yearning, heartbroken red? Wang Feng recalled something, and couldn't help thinking to himself. Even though the Berserk Man-faced demon spider was very difficult to deal with, the current Xiao Wu wasn't the original Xiao Wu. To be precise, she was a lot stronger. Even though in the end it still couldn't escape injury, wanting to kill Xiao Wu. Even if this man-faced demon spider had 6,000 years of cultivation, it would still be difficult. Not long after, Wang Feng saw Flinderpat Xiao Wu's back a few times. Xiao Wu spit out a mouthful of purple blood, and then her complexion improved a lot. I remember, Xiao Wu seemed to recognize Lu Erlong as her adoptive mother here. Wang Feng thought to himself. He planned to wait for the party to all finish absorbing spirit rings, and then fight them. See if the 7 of them could lift his mask? If they didn't use the evolved void boundary, the 7 of them still had a chance, but it wouldn't be easy. They needed to think of a special way to make it possible. In the poison formation, Xiao Wu leaned on Lu Erlong's thigh, looking at Lu Erlong's rare gentleness. Everyone was also incomparably surprised. This Lu Erlong's violence, everyone had seen, even Flinder was secretly surprised. They didn't expect to see such a rare, gentle side of Lu Erlong. Xiao Wu, are you willing to be my direct disciple? Lu Erlong asked in a low voice. With me here, I won't let anyone or spirit beast bully you again. Xiao Wu looked at the gentleness in Lu Erlong's eyes, and couldn't help but recall the gentleness in her mother's eyes, subconsciously blurting out, I am willing. Speaking, she was about to stand up and take him as her master, but was suppressed by Lu Erlong. No need for those etiquettes. What I hate the most is those etiquettes. Even more disdainful of those ordinary reputations. Lu Erlong looked at Grandmaster, as if implying something. Teacher doesn't have any relatives now. Even the man she loves doesn't want me. If you don't mind, call me mother in the future. Grandmaster. Xiao Wu was shocked in her heart and sighed. On one hand, she really felt that Teacher Lu Erlong really thought like this. On the other hand, she naturally heard that Teacher Lu Erlong was secretly cursing Grandmaster. Grandmaster and Lu Erlong's relationship was actually a lot more relaxed, but Grandmaster still couldn't let go of that special relationship between the two of them, leading to them being unable to be together perfectly. Thinking about it, Xiao Wu couldn't help thinking of herself and her brother, somewhat rejoicing, but also feeling sad for the two teachers, and also thinking of her mother. For a moment, Xiao Wu's eyes became misty, sobbing a few times, throwing herself at Lu Erlong. Mother. Everyone watching also felt a burst of emotion. Grandmaster was startled, as if wanting to understand what they were talking about, but still struggling. And apart from Grandmaster, the others one after another stepped forward to congratulate. Recognizing one's mother, even if it was in the previous world, it would still be a major matter. Wang Feng, watching, also felt a burst of emotion. Xiao Wu's life, even among these people, wasn't worse than Tang San's, even a bit more miserable. At this time, Tang San's 8 spider lances also evolved because of absorbing the man-faced demon spider's cultivation. External spirit bones could all evolve. This was also why external spirit bones were so precious. They would evolve along with the master's strength. Just like Wang Feng's current mysterious underworld armor, after absorbing the 4th spirit ring, it also evolved its power even stronger, and the number of mysterious underworld thorns increased. He was now already able to fuse the mysterious underworld thorns into a large-scale weapon, able to control several thousand mysterious underworld thorns. This really relied on the Black Hoop Spirit Skull, because the more he controlled it, the greater the demand on his spiritual force. If he didn't have this skull, Wang Feng could at most control 3,000 mysterious underworld thorns, but with this skull, he could control 5,000. If it was on the battlefield, my mysterious underworld thorns would be a great killing weapon. Adding the raging ice flame lotus, its group attack ability wouldn't be inferior to Douluo's. Wang Feng thought. If they were combined, they could even form a 2 or 3 meter long broadsword. One day, it would not be impossible for it to form a 40-meter long saber. Not long after Tang San finished absorbing the man-faced demon spider, he swiftly arrived in front of Xiao Wu, and everyone consciously gave him space to interact. He was either cultivating or absorbing the soul ring. Grandmaster walked alone to the side. In the situation just now, he didn't go congratulate Lu Erlong, only somewhat helpless. He wanted to do something, but was ultimately unable to break through that barrier. Erlong clearly already understood him very well, but he couldn't cross that hurdle in his heart. Grandmaster. At this moment, a faint voice echoed at Grandmaster's side. It was Wang Feng, only right now he wasn't wearing a mask. Xiao Feng. Grandmaster looked at Wang Feng, first staring blankly because this was still the first time he saw Wang Feng in half a year. He had changed a lot. In comparison, his face had become a bit darker, probably because he had gone through a lot of battles. His face had also become even more angular, looking even more like a youth. Along the way, I'll first thank you on behalf of Little San and the others. Grandmaster sighed. Wang Feng waved his hand. Grandmaster, do you plan to continue like this with Teacher Erlong? Grandmaster was silent. He also knew that just now Wang Feng had certainly been quietly watching everything from the side. Am I not very much like a man? Grandmaster shook his head with a wry smile. Wang Feng smiled, shaking his head. Grandmaster, I know you care about your relationship with Teacher Erlong. Like this, I'll give you an idea. I'll ask you first, you love Teacher Erlong, right? Towards this point, Grandmaster nodded practically without any hesitation. In other words, your spirits are in love with each other. Only, Grandmaster, are you worried that having a physical relationship with Teacher Erlong would not be tolerated by the people of the world and would be easily slandered by others? In fact, he was afraid of others talking nonsense. After all, they were cousins. Grandmaster nodded silently. Actually, this is simple. Wang Feng smiled and said, there's a term called platonic love. It means that between the sexes, only spiritual love can occur. There's no need for a physical relationship to occur, starting with feelings and ending with propriety. You and Teacher Erlong are in love with each other in spirit. Then you can live together with Teacher Erlong, even if you sleep on the same bed, as long as no physical relationship occurs. Wouldn't that be fine? You can have a platonic spiritual love. When the time comes, even if someone asks, you can confidently answer. You haven't had a relationship. Like this, you can be together and also avoid any gossip. Finished speaking, Wang Feng looked at Grandmaster. Chapter 274. Grandmaster's whole body seems to be struck by lightning. Platonic spiritual love. Grandmaster murmurs, so it could be like this. Why didn't I think of it? Xiao Feng, thank you, I understand. After saying that, Grandmaster runs back. Wang Feng secretly laughs. Grandmaster is a conservative person. Wang Feng remembers that in the original work, it seems that Flinder enlightened Grandmaster. But now that the Dean did not enlighten him, he can only try it himself. But humans are flesh and blood, sleeping on the same bed. How can it be possible to have a true platonic spiritual love? Wang Feng shakes his head and says, moreover, with Teacher Erlong's age, Grandmaster, I'm afraid you will be eaten in a few nights. This kind of thing can only happen once or countless times. Looking at Grandmaster, Wang Feng puts on his mask again and goes to look at Ning Rongrong, who is currently absorbing the spirit ring. This girl, what is she thinking about? So happy. There's even a smile on her face. Wang Feng looks at Ning Rongrong, who is wrapped in purple light. That delicate little face seems to be dreaming, revealing a happy smile, and even a little rosy. Sweeping a glance from afar, Wang Feng turns away, walking to the other side to look at Zhu Zhuqing, who is currently absorbing the spirit ring. Zhu Zhuqing is still absorbing that ghost tiger's spirit ring, Her face does not have a smile, still cold and indifferent. Wang Feng slightly nods, again walking to the other side to look at Tang San, who has already entered the ice and fire yin-yang well and is currently absorbing the pit demon spider's spirit ring. Nodding his head, Wang Feng waited patiently. Not long after, Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing successively succeeded in absorbing the spirit ring, gathering together with everyone. The obtaining of the fourth spirit ring made the two slightly change. Ning Rongrong is a bit older, seeming a bit more mature, and the originally very old Zhu Zhuqing's face has somewhat shed the immaturity of a young girl. Originally, her figure and childish face made her a lot more mature than other girls of the same age, and the absorption of the fourth spirit ring made her immature face a bit more mature. But her temperament is still even colder, probably because of that ghost tiger's influence. Very soon, everyone has been waiting until daybreak, until the sun rises. Finally, Tang San also awoke. Xiao Wu is the first to rush out, tightly hugging Tang San, who has rushed out of the ice and fire yin-yang well. The three people's spirit abilities also revealed themselves. Ning Rongrong's fourth spirit ability, besides being able to add defense to her teammates, also has a short period of immunity to negative effects. It should be the effect of that purple scale armor. Although it doesn't last long, it's still powerful enough. Similar to paralysis, poison, these kinds of special attacks can all be temporarily immune. Compared to Oscar's pink sausage, it's also not inferior. Zhu Zhuqing's fourth spirit ability is the Shadow Clone Attack, turning into 4 clones, attacking. Tang San's blue-silver prison is a group control that makes everyone feel exceptionally shocked. For this, they even experimented. Even though the blue-silver prison's toughness and poison can't compare to the third spirit ability's spiderweb restraint, this is a preemptive attack for group control. Only spirit masters over the 50th rank can possibly obtain group control. Little San's blue-silver prison's toughness isn't strong. Even a power attack type spirit master like Mubai can break it. But any team doesn't only have power attack types. There are still other types. Grandmaster sighed in admiration. In a group melee, it can display an absolutely fatal effect. Perhaps it won't increase his individual fighting strength much, but in a group, if combined with Hongjuan's Phoenix Cry Sky Strike, it can be called unequaled. Everyone nodded. Ma Hongjuan's Phoenix Cry Sky Strike just happened to need preemptive control, and Tang San's blue-silver prison was also a group preemptive control. It could even be called an extremely perfect control. All right, in this trip to the Sunset Forest, all of you, besides Xiao Wu, have already reached the 41st rank and have also obtained suitable spirit rings. It's about time to return. Flinder's heart immediately became free and easy. 5 soul skills gave Shrek's 7 devils an incomparably huge boost in strength. It even made them feel that this continental high-level elite tournament championship was already in the bag. Wait, Grandmaster, we still haven't fought that 6-ring Spirit Emperor Senior? Do we pass the special training? At this moment, Tang San suddenly asked. Grandmaster and the others looked at each other, for a moment not knowing how to reply. You guys wanted to lift his mask, and pass the special training is a bit difficult. Next time, Lu Erlong said with a smile. Just now, Grandmaster had already completely reconciled with her, and even promised to be together with her in the future. Although she didn't know what Grandmaster had been touched by, it still made Lu Erlong feel incomparably happy. After bitterly waiting for more than 10 years, she had finally achieved the right result. So now her mood was very free and easy, without that kind of irritable mood from before. When she spoke, she also had a somewhat comforting smile. Tang San thought about it. Even if the 5 of them had obtained their 4th spirit ability, wanting to lift the mask in the state they were in the night before yesterday, it really seemed somewhat difficult. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing suddenly opened her mouth to say, not necessarily. Seeing this, everyone couldn't help but look at her in shock. I have a way, we can lift his mask. Zhu Zhuqing was silent for a moment, then said, this method may require everyone's cooperation. In order to prevent him from listening to us, everyone gather first. I'll trouble the 3 teachers to shield us from the perception of the outside world. Let the 7 of us discuss. Flinder and Lu Erlong looked at it, feeling a little surprised for a moment. They didn't know what Zhu Zhuqing would do. However, the 4 teachers still did as they were told, directly using their spirit power to create a protective cover, letting the 7 of them discuss in the protective cover. They also couldn't hear what the 7 of them were discussing. Wang Feng also couldn't hear. What method can Zhu Qing have to lift my mask? Wang Feng was also somewhat puzzled. Even if the 5 of them had obtained their 4th spirit ability, they should also know that he was watching in the dark. As long as I enter the Void Realm, you won't be able to lift my mask. Wang Feng shook his head. No matter what method they wanted to use, it was almost impossible to lift his mask. Wang Feng looked at the few people muttering. Flinder, Lu Erlong, and Zhao Wuji still blocked the 7 people. Let's do this first, then do that, finally this in the light cover. After listening to Zhu Zhuqing's method, the few of them looked at her somewhat strangely. It's a very good method, Tang San praised. It can be called exquisite beyond compare. This 6-ring spirit emperor probably also can't think of it. Zhu Qing, you're too smart. How did you think of this method? Xiao Wu said. Then who will be the bait? Ning Rongrong thought about it. As an auxiliary system spirit master, I'm not suitable as bait. How about we do it? Dai Mubai, Oscar, and Ma Hongjun were the same. Zhu Zhuqing shook her head. The method I thought of, I'll do it myself, and I'm also the most suitable as an agility attack system. But the specifics still have to depend on the actual situation. Hearing this, the few of them stared blankly, also somewhat strangely looking at Zhu Zhuqing. But Tang Xin seemed pensive. Chapter 275. That's fine, it's decided. Tang Xin clapped his hands, bringing the 7 people out of the light cover, shouting loudly, Senior, we've already obtained spirit rings. This special training, shouldn't it also be over? Flinder's 4 people also left far away, roughly knowing that a fight should erupt in a moment. Just as Tang San's voice fell, a silhouette, swiftly flashing from a distant large tree, that white silhouette practically making it difficult for everyone to detect. Very quickly, Wang Feng appeared 50 meters away from everyone, calmly looking at everyone. Why still not giving up? The white silhouette issued several ice-cold laughter. Then I'll once again give you one last chance. At this moment, Tang San's group first bowed towards the white silhouette, saying, Senior, even though it was you who carried out the special training for us, it was still a great help to us. Hear us Shrek's 7 devils express our gratitude to you. 3 confrontations, plus last night's spirit beasts. The 7 people had indeed benefited a lot. No need for nonsense. To be able to remove my mask, you'll be considered to have passed this time's special training. The rules are here. The white silhouette waved his hand. Tang San's group of 7 also nodded. In a flash, the 7 people attacked. Ning Rongrong at the first moment boosted everyone. Oscar's pink sausage also swiftly fell into the 7 people's hands. Wang Feng also didn't stop them. He wanted to see what method these 7 had just discussed to remove his mask. This time, the attack was still led by Dai Mubai, Xiao Wu on the right, Zhu Zhuqing on the left. The blue silver grass also flew towards Wang Feng. Haven't changed? Wang Feng inwardly said, something's wrong. Just as he was thinking, at this moment Dai Mubai, using white tiger Vajra transformation, eating the pink sausage, and also being boosted by Ning Rongrong, with his current strength, even a 50-something rank battle spirit master could still fight. Only Dai Mubai shot forward, but didn't charge at Wang Feng, but rather suddenly stopped. Then, he unleashed his full power. A white tiger meteor shower shot towards Wang Feng's location. At the same time, only the blue silver grass behind flung, a red silhouette flung over, and Xiao Wu caught this silhouette in midair. She arched her waist, relying on formidable waist strength, unexpectedly directly catapulting this silhouette once again, falling behind Wang Feng. Phoenix Cry Sky Strike. Ma Hongjun, who was instantly left behind, would directly use his 4th soul skill. A terrifying shock echoed within a 5-meter range of him, let alone Wang Feng not being within the range of this spirit ability. Even if he was, he still wouldn't be shaken unconscious. Just what method is Zhu Zhuqing thinking? Wang Feng felt somewhat strange, going big as soon as you arrived, and still making this kind of noise. White Tiger Meteor Shower attacked, several dozen golden spheres of light, not a single one able to hit Wang Feng, all of them easily and directly dodged by Wang Feng. Then Ma Hongjun's second attack of Phoenix Cry Sky Strike also attacked. A terrifying magma attack, shaking the earth, but still didn't hit Wang Feng. Instead, Wang Feng, with an instant flash, first sent Dai Mubai flying with a palm, then directly in midair, kicked Ma Hongjun flying. In an instant, both of their attacks were broken. This kind of large-scale attack seemed very powerful, but it had no effect on Wang Feng. He could dodge it even without using his void mirror. Previously, Tang San had covered the entire battlefield with blue-silver grass, created a terrifying blue-silver grass net, and then used Ma Hongjun's Phoenix Fireline to ignite the battlefield to block Wang Feng's attack. Where's Zhu Zhuqing? Wang Feng suddenly looked to the other side. He could completely sense that Zhu Zhuqing hadn't attacked at this time, but was instead using her fourth soul skill to create shadow doppelgangers in the surroundings and quickly moving around. Zhu Zhuqing's body? Why is there a special smell? Wang Feng immediately smelled something special on Zhu Zhuqing's body. That's the delicate silk immortal's fragrance. Wang Feng was enlightened. So that's how it is. Is she trying to use the delicate silk immortal and the huge commotion created by her attack to attract soul beasts to attack me? Not bad, not bad. You can think of this method. Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun's fourth soul skills could create a huge commotion. There was no need to talk about the White Tiger Meteor Shower. Every golden speck of light would explode. Ma Hongjun's Phoenix Sky Cry was derived from the King of the Earth's magma, Earth-rending strike. Not only was its attack extremely powerful, but it could also create a huge commotion. If the delicate silk immortal's fragrance was added to the mix, it could indeed attract soul beasts in a short period of time. When they were discussing just now, Little San must have temporarily given his 100 treasures pouch to Zhu Zhuqing. No wonder she has such a special fragrance. Wang Feng nodded in his heart. The huge commotion created by the attack and Zhuqing's speed will allow the fragrance to quickly spread in all directions. This will attract soul beasts in an extremely short period of time. Not bad. They know that it's difficult to do this with just 7 people, so they'll borrow external strength. This was a very good method, but this method has a fatal flaw. Wang Feng frowned as he looked at Zhu Zhuqing. Right at this moment, roar! In the dark, a huge figure directly pounced towards Zhu Zhuqing. Evidently, soul beasts had already been attracted over. This flaw is that you have the delicate silk immortal on you. The soul beast will attack you immediately. Wang Feng frowned slightly as his pupils contracted. Following this, numerous exclamations sounded. Zhuqing, be careful. Oh no, it's a 10,000-year ghost tiger. Quick dodge. How did we attract such a powerful soul beast? Tang San's group of 7 exclaimed. The other teachers were also frightened as they watched. One by one, they activated their martial soul true bodies. No, it's too far. Flender and Lu Erlong's hearts turned slightly cold. They could vaguely see through the Seven's plan. But before they could think of the flaw in this plan, the soul beast had already attacked. And it was a 10,000-year ghost tiger. A 10,000-year ghost tiger was many times stronger than a 1,000-year ghost tiger. Its speed and attack were far superior. Furthermore, a 10,000-year ghost tiger could even teleport short distances, appearing in front of them like a shadow. The ghost tiger, which was 7 to 8 meters long and 4 meters tall, pounced, and its huge body turned into an afterimage. Immediately after, it appeared 2 to 3 meters away from Zhu Zhuqing. It was almost about to tear Zhu Zhuqing into pieces in an instant. This ghost tiger's speed was too fast, and at this moment, Zhu Zhuqing was still leaping in midair. She had just turned her head when she saw the ghost tiger pouncing at her. Her face turned slightly pale. At this moment, even if Flinder and Lu Erlong's reactions were fast, in front of the ghost tiger's short-distance teleportation, they couldn't catch up at all. Wang Feng quivered when he saw this. He couldn't care too much. Without saying anything, he instantly entered the empty realm state. The surrounding air seemed to flow at a speed that was 10 times slower. Wang Feng directly turned into a ray of light and directly rushed in front of Zhu Zhuqing. He directly hugged her waist and turned his back on everyone. Then he circulated his soul power and punched the ghost tiger with all his strength, instantly dispelling the empty realm state. Boom! The ghost tiger seemed to be hit by an air cannon and was sent flying out of thin air. As it was sent flying, its body rapidly disintegrated, bursting into bursts of blood. The scene was incomparably shocking. Carrying Zhu Zhuqing, Wang Feng slowly landed with his back on everyone. Seeing that the ghost tiger was sent flying, he hurriedly turned his head to look at Zhu Zhuqing and asked, "How are you? Are you okay?" Halfway through his words, Wang Feng saw a flash of slyness in Zhu Zhuqing's eyes. In the next moment, the mask on his face was quickly removed by Zhu Zhuqing, who was in his arms. Wang Feng, continue at night into this chapter. Chapter 276. This was a meticulous plan. It seemed like they were trying to lure the soul beasts over to attack them, but they were actually using the fact that Wang Feng, a six-ringed soul emperor, wouldn't let anything happen to them. They used the enemy's weakness to successfully tear off Wang Feng's mask. Luring the soul beasts over to attack them was just a pretense. It had to be said that this idea was very brilliant. It had started from the moment the 7 of them teamed up and allowed Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun to unleash their soul skills to create a huge commotion. Zhu Zhuqing was an agility-type soul master. She carried the delicate silk immortal with her as she swiftly circled the area without attacking. One reason was to lure the soul beasts over. The soul beasts that she lured over naturally weren't to attack Wang Feng. They were to attack her. Because she had the delicate silk immortal with her, she was the first soul beast to attack. On the other hand, Zhu Zhuqing didn't tell anyone that she was testing Wang Feng. As an agility-type soul beast, Zhu Zhuqing could control the distance between them. She wouldn't be too far away from Wang Feng, but she wouldn't be too close either. She could give Wang Feng a perfect opportunity to save her. But in reality, the number of soul beasts that she lured over exceeded Zhu Zhuqing's expectations. This was why she said before the battle that they would have to see how they performed in actual combat. This 10,000-year ghost tiger that was lured over was clearly beyond her expectations. It was too strong. Even Zhu Zhuqing couldn't react in time. When the ghost tiger attacked, she felt that she was done for. Although this idea was good, it was still too difficult to implement. The soul beast that was lured over was an uncertain factor. If it was terrifyingly strong, what would happen if this six-ringed soul emperor couldn't save her in time? Therefore, when Zhu Zhuqing turned around and saw the ghost tiger pouncing over, her face was incomparably pale. The shouts and worries of the crowd weren't an act either. They were real. It was to the extent that Wang Feng didn't notice any problems. The plan was very good, but he never expected that it would be a 10,000-year ghost tiger. Even Flinder, Zhao Wuji, and Lu Erlong couldn't save her in time. It could be said that this plan had been carried out perfectly from the start. In the end, the appearance of this 10,000-year ghost tiger far exceeded everyone's expectations. And what exceeded everyone's expectations even more was naturally the six-ringed soul emperor's attack. It was terrifying. It was as if they had returned to that night. In an instant, the six-ringed soul emperor disappeared, and when he reappeared, he had already successfully saved Zhu Zhuqing. The ghost tiger was also smashed into pieces on the spot. The plan had returned to what the 7 of them had thought. When this six-ringed soul emperor saved Zhu Zhuqing, it was also the only time they could come into contact with him. It was also the best chance to remove his mask, which was now. Wang Feng held onto Zhu Zhuqing's slender waist and descended from midair. Because Wang Feng's back was facing Tang San and the others, they couldn't clearly see what this six-ringed Soul Emperor looked like with his mask removed. They could only see Zhu Zhuqing's clear and cold eyes wide open. It was as if she had seen something unbelievable. The mask that Zhu Zhuqing had thrown away was instantly caught by the other party's hand. When it landed on the ground, it was put back on. Zhu Zhuqing walked out of the other party's embrace shyly, but she was somewhat silent. "You guys have gone a little too far." Wang Feng's cold voice came slowly. Tang San and the others immediately lowered their heads. "And you?" Wang Feng looked at Zhu Zhuqing, who was still in a daze, and said in a low voice, "This is a good idea, but have you thought about what if a more powerful spirit beast appeared?" Zhu Zhuqing also lowered her head, but her toes couldn't be seen, and her head shook slightly. It was like a child who had made a mistake and was being scolded by a teacher. What if that 10,000-year spirit beast was a little stronger? Wang Feng's voice became a little louder. "If it was a little stronger, even if I could still save her, I still have to teach you a lesson." Wang Feng had really been scared just now. That 10,000-year ghost tiger had charged at Zhu Zhuqing. If he had been 2 seconds late, or if he hadn't evolved to the Void Realm, he wouldn't have been able to save her. There is only one possibility for Zhu Zhuqing: death. "You guys!" Grandmaster's group of 4 also walked over with anxious expressions, their expressions incomparably serious as they scolded everyone. "Tang San, this idea was Zhuqing's idea. But as the commander, without your approval, it's impossible to carry out this plan. If something happens, who will take responsibility?" They had been scared just now. Fortunately, Lin Feng acted quickly. Otherwise, Zhu Zhuqing would definitely be a corpse now. Tang San, somewhat ashamed, lowered his head and said, "Teacher, I'm sorry." He also hadn't expected that in such a short time, a spirit beast like the 10,000-year ghost tiger would be attracted. Normally, in such a short time, it was reasonable to say that such a powerful spirit beast wouldn't be attracted. When Grandmaster and the others heard this, they originally wanted to say something, but Wang Feng waved his hand to cut them off. "No need. Actually, it's not entirely their fault. It's all because of the 10,000-year ghost tiger. Besides the methods they used, it should also be because Zhu Zhuqing absorbed the spirit ring of the ghost tiger. These 2 ferocious ghost tigers should know each other, probably because they sensed the ghost tiger's aura on Zhu Zhuqing. They were immediately attracted. Hearing this, everyone somewhat understood. Everyone came to a sudden realization. It was no wonder that such a powerful ghost tiger would be attracted. "All right, special training counts as you all passing." Wang Feng swept his gaze over everyone, then turned around intending to leave. At this time, Zhu Zhuqing suddenly took a few steps forward and gently pulled on Wang Feng's white robe, whispering, "Thank you. I won't do this kind of thing again." Speaking up to here, Zhu Zhuqing muttered again, "Also, I should know who you are." Wang Feng didn't answer, only pulling back his robe, and with a few leaps, disappeared from where he was like a shadow. All right, you can go back. You all have perfectly passed the special training and the first test," Flinders said quickly, then led the way back to the academy. At this time, Tang San and the others immediately surrounded Zhu Zhuqing. "Zhuqing, just now you lifted the mask of this 6-ring spirit emperor. Did you clearly see what he looked like? Male or female?" Xiao Wu asked curiously. This mysterious 6-ring spirit emperor's whole body was covered. His voice was neutral and cold. His behavior was strange, making people completely unable to see through him. Xiao Wu's question was also what everyone was curious about, and they all looked at Zhu Zhuqing. However, Zhu Zhuqing shook her head. "I don't know." "You don't know? Didn't you lift his mask?" Ning Rongrong asked doubtfully. Unexpectedly, Zhu Zhuqing answered. Under his mask, there was still another mask. Everyone, they were immediately dumbfounded. Because the other party's back was facing them just now, they didn't see what the other party looked like after being lifted. But Zhu Zhuqing was in the other party's arms. They should be able to see it, right? They didn't expect that there was actually another mask. Isn't this too mysterious and cautious? Ma Hongjun said exaggeratedly. So awesome? Just now, he saved Zhu Qing in an instant and killed that 10,000-year-old ghost tiger with a punch. I didn't expect him to be so mysterious. You can't even tell if it's a man or a woman. You should be able to tell from the smell, right? Or the toughness of the body. Ning Rongrong asked doubtfully. Just now, Zhu Zhuqing was being carried. It should be easy to tell, right? Zhu Zhuqing shook her head and said in a somewhat shy tone, "There's no smell on his body. It's all removed. His chest is covered with a layer of something similar to an iron plate. You can't even feel his heartbeat. His hands are also covered with very thick clothes. I can't even feel his skin." Wang Feng's ability to disguise himself was extraordinary. How could he be discovered so easily? End of this chapter. Chapter 277. Isn't he too strong? Oscar couldn't help but say, the method we thought of to distinguish them was completely anticipated by the other party. Grandmaster's six-ring spirit emperor friend is too mysterious. What a strong disguise technique. Tang San said in a low voice. From his voice to his smell, every part of his body, and even more than one mask. This kind of disguise technique is somewhat frightening. However, Tang San had some faint guesses in his heart. While everyone was amazed, they were also incomparably impressed. Only Zhu Zhuqing remained silent. No one knew what she was thinking. Hee. No matter what, we passed the special training test. When we return to the academy, we should be able to see Wang Feng. Ning Rongrong glanced at Zhu Zhuqing and suddenly said happily. However, just as she finished speaking, her expression slightly collapsed. But in a few days, it will be the Advanced Elite Soul Master Tournament. I wonder if Wang Feng will be with us. Hearing Ning Rongrong's words, everyone's minds finally came back. Don't worry, Grandmaster told us that we can bring substitutes in the Advanced Elite Soul Master Tournament. Ma Hongjun laughed mischievously. When the time comes, Captain will be our trump card substitute. There's such a thing? Really? If that's the case, then that's great. I wonder how much Brother Feng has grown in this half a year. Everyone carried a bellyful of excitement as they returned to Shrek Academy. He was not disappointed when he saw Wang Feng. When they saw Wang Feng was leisurely lying on a boulder in the Academy's plaza, still chewing a strand of blue-silver grass from who knew where in his mouth. Seeing this scene, everyone's mouths simultaneously twitched. They hadn't seen each other for more than half a year. In everyone's eyes, Wang Feng's originally fair skin had been a bit darkened by the sun, carrying a somewhat masculine youthful aura, his height also more than 180 centimeters. Right now his eyes were closed, humming a little tune, wearing a light gray windbreaker with a tight black battle suit inside, long hair naturally hanging down. His temperament was somewhat lazy, but they could still feel that special aura. A formidable aura. Fighting Air Ming for more than half a year. Even if Wang Feng didn't reveal anything, he still had a peculiar aura. However, none of them were familiar with his posture. Only Tang San was incomparably moved. In the blink of an eye, almost 8 years had passed. Wang Feng's posture, to Tang San, was incomparably familiar. Yo, I heard you went to obtain your 4th spirit rings. Wang Feng also seemed to sense Tang San's party. With a light leap, he directly landed with a carp flip from the boulder, looking at them with a smile. Seeing this, the rest of the people also surrounded them with smiles. Afterwards, they all directly introduced their 4th spirit abilities. Even though Wang Feng already knew, he still impatiently listened until they finished. Not bad, not bad. You've all become a lot stronger. After listening, Wang Feng pretended to sigh with emotion. Right now, I can't even beat 7 of you. They all covered their mouths and laughed. Wang Feng, when did you come back? At this moment, Ning Rongrong suddenly asked. Wang Feng stared blankly, casually saying, in the morning. Afterwards, the academy students said you went to Sunset Forest. I originally wanted to go see, but thinking it's already been a few days, you should have returned. I might as well wait here for you to return. Is that so? Ning Rongrong's eyes turned. That's really a coincidence. I'm a bit tired. Grandmaster gave us a day off. I'll find you again tomorrow. Speaking, Ning Rongrong took a step forward and left. Seeing this, everyone also took a step forward one after another. As for the matter of Wang Feng going to cultivate, they also didn't ask. Brother Feng will also go rest first. I haven't had a good sleep in several days. I'll find you again tomorrow to chat. Thanks, and also let out a yawn. The group also left one after another to rest first. Wang Feng looked at everyone and smiled. He felt it was strange that they actually didn't ask about the sunset forest. A quiet night. Wang Feng was taking a nap when suddenly there was a knock on the door. Opening the door, Wang Feng stared blankly. Smiling, he said, "Zhu Qing, aren't you going to rest?" Outside the door was shockingly Zhu Qing. At this moment, she was dressed in black, like a fairy under the moon, extremely beautiful and moving. "I have something to talk to you about." Zhu Qing looked at Wang Feng and said softly. Wang Feng's heart moved. He thought to himself, "Could it be that I've been discovered? I don't think so. My disguise is very good. Even if I hug her, I won't be able to see her. Even if I hugged her, she wouldn't be able to detect that it was me. She might not even be able to distinguish my gender." Standing outside the door, Zhu Qing put her hands behind her back and suddenly said, "Thank you." Wang Feng glanced at Zhu Qing and said in surprise, "What are you thanking me for?" Zhu Qing suddenly revealed a trace of a smile. "Thank you for helping us in the setting sun forest. Also, thank you for saving me." She rarely smiled. This smile was naturally extremely beautiful, like the first melting of ice and snow. One couldn't help but hold their breath, wanting to remember this smile with their eyes. "What are you talking about?" Wang Feng frowned and said directly, but he didn't fall for the trick. "I don't quite understand." The agreement between him and Grandmaster was that it was best not to expose his identity as a six-ringed soul emperor in front of the seven people, because in the future, there would be a chance to give the seven people special training. Zhu Qing said softly, "In the setting sun forest, you disguise yourself very well. There was no smell on your body, even I couldn't smell it at all. But, at this point, Zhu Qing's face turned slightly red, but her voice was still clear and cold. You hugged me, and you have my smell on your body. I noticed it just now. This kind of smell, only I can smell it." Wang Feng was shocked. This girl, isn't she too cunning? Wait, no. When I came back, I took a bath and changed my clothes. Even if there was really a smell that only Zhu Qing could smell, it would have long been washed away. Even if it couldn't be washed away, it was such a long distance from the setting sun forest to the academy. Even if there was a smell, it would have long been gone, right? In a flash, while Wang Feng was thinking, he suddenly felt that something was wrong. Oh no! At this moment, Zhu Qing's clear and cold voice sounded again. "Actually, there's no special smell on my body. But you're silent, you're thinking. In other words, my guess is right?" Wang Feng was speechless. How could this girl be so good at this? Sherlock Holmes. There were many loopholes in Zhu Qing's words, but the question was asked in a hurry. As long as you thought about it, even if you figured it out, you would still fall into the other party's trap. Because this kind of question, if you didn't have that identity, you wouldn't be able to think about it, and you wouldn't have any reason to think about it. Wang Feng didn't know what to say for a moment. Zhu Qing's face was slightly red, and she moved a little closer. She tugged on Wang Feng's right sleeve and whispered, "Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Just treat it as a secret between us." Finished speaking, Zhu Qing didn't even turn her head and walked out. Wang Feng sighed, looked at Zhu Qing's perfect back, and shook his head. "Secret my ass." However, even if Zhu Qing knew, it didn't matter. Thinking like this, Wang Feng looked at the sky, returned to his room, and continued to rest and cultivate. At this time, there was another knock on the door. Wang Feng opened the door, and it was Ning Rongrong. "Wang Feng, I have something to talk to you about," Ning Rongrong said softly. Wang Feng stared blankly and immediately asked, "What is it?" Wang Feng, the setting sun forest's six-ring spirit emperor. "Is it you?" Ning Rongrong opened her mouth, and the words caught him off guard. End of this chapter. Chapter 278. Although I can't kill you, I can't avoid beating you up. Wang Feng laughed in his heart. He definitely didn't dare to kill him. After all, Qian Rinxue had a rank 99 exceptional Dalu and the martial spirit hall's mother behind him. They weren't people to be trifled with. If he was discovered, Wang Feng knew that he would be finished. After all, his grandfather also had a six-winged angel martial soul. Furthermore, Wang Feng couldn't find a reason to kill him. He wouldn't do such a stupid thing. As he thought, Wang Feng directly attacked Qian Rinxue. Countless black threads streaked across the sky. Because he was too fast, the black fog on Wang Feng's body was completely scattered in the air. It seemed to form a unique aura. This terrifying aura attracted those ferocious soul beasts. However, to other soul beasts, it was extremely fatal. Hence, there were almost no soul beasts nearby. Qian Rinxue's pupil shrank. He only felt that his opponent was extremely fast. He couldn't see him at all. It was a complete illusion. He couldn't help but be shocked. How strong was Wang Feng's physique now? With the circulation of his soul power, he was at least far stronger than a rank 60 soul warrior. He was comparable to a rank 70 soul warrior. Coupled with the angel martial soul, his physical strength was at least 3 times stronger. Furthermore, his comprehensive senses were greatly enhanced. Coupled with the mysterious empty realm state and the terror of the god-slaying spear, even 20,000-year ferocious old beasts could only be beaten up. This was also under the condition that Wang Feng didn't use a divinized soul skill on himself. The god-slaying spear could almost cause fatal injuries to soul beasts. Just a slight injury would spread in an instant. It couldn't be healed, even if one recovered. There was no need to talk about toughness. Although Wang Feng was very unfamiliar with the god-slaying spear at the beginning, after getting used to it, even a simple flick or stab could cause great damage. Furthermore, Wang Feng faintly felt that using the god-slaying spear to kill these soul beasts or other living beings wouldn't affect his karmic power. This meant that no matter how many bad things he did in the future, his soul and spirit would remain in the state after being tempered by the Red Lotus. If it really had such an effect, it would be too terrifying, not to mention the murderous aura that the god-slaying spear contained. Although it might be because the god-slaying spear was not in its complete form, it was not as terrifying as one would die upon contact. However, it would also cause living beings to feel boundless fear. Innately, it would cause them to be afflicted with a state of fear. Their wounds cannot be healed. To put it simply, it was forbidden healing. If he was injured, he would die. The god-slaying spear is too murderous. It's even more terrifying than the mysterious underworld spike. Wang Fengxin thought to himself, as long as the mysterious underworld spike didn't touch a vital point, the other party could still use their soul power to resist it. However, the fiendish aura within the god-slaying spear could directly damage one's soul and body. No matter how small the damage was, it could not be healed. Even if a titled Dalu could resist it with their soul power, they wouldn't be able to heal it completely. Combined with the dark angel martial soul, its power increased exponentially. However, the consumption of soul power was also very high. A normal rank 40 soul master wouldn't even be able to last 20 seconds. Furthermore, the god-slaying spear might not be able to hurt a titled Dalu. However, this was a soul-slaying spear without a soul ring. However, Wang Feng had not tested whether the golden lotus healing ability could heal the damage caused by the soul-slaying spear. Logically speaking, it should be possible. At this moment, bang! Wang Feng didn't use the soul-slaying spear. Instead, he punched Qian Rinxue's abdomen. He sent Qian Rinxue flying again. Following this, he flashed and appeared behind Qian Rinxue. He punched Qian Rinxue's shoulder again. Bang! 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 Wang Feng didn't have any intention of showing mercy. Furthermore, Qian Rinxue is in male disguise now. I, Wang Feng, think that you are a man, the most beautiful woman in the Douluo continent. Sorry, I can't see it. After a while, Dong, Qian Rinxue was beaten to the ground with a swollen face. His eyes were filled with anger and indignation. He's too strong. He's too strong. I'm no match for him at all. To be precise, I'm completely restrained. In the end, Wang Feng stepped on Qian Rinxue and said in a hoarse voice, I said you can't beat me. I told you, you can't beat me. Why don't you just leave? Qian Rinxue just stared at Wang Feng's blood-red eyes. She didn't expect that Qian Rinxue, a rank 20 innate full soul power and a 6-winged angel martial soul, will be beaten up so badly by Wang Feng without even knowing who he was. No one in the Martial Spirit Palace or the Heaven Do imperial family dared to treat her like this. Never. Qian Rinxue's eyes were burning with anger, but he looked at the man in front of him coldly. She could feel that Wang Feng didn't want to kill her. It seemed that he just wanted to beat her up. However, she couldn't swallow this anger. Goodbye. Wang Feng chuckled. Wang Feng didn't know who he was anyway. Not to mention that he was wearing a mask. Even if he took off the mask, his appearance would have changed greatly. Qian Rinxue wouldn't be able to recognize that he was Wang Feng. The possession of the dark angel martial soul had brought about a great change to him. Qian Rinxue looked at him coldly. She just wanted to remember him clearly, but she knew that it would be difficult to find him no matter how hard she tried. Wang Feng was about to leave. Wang Feng wasn't worried about Qian Rinxue's life being threatened. With her identity, she would definitely be protected by a powerful soul master. She probably wasn't here for some reason, but she would be here soon. However, when Wang Feng turned around suddenly, the ground trembled violently. A terrifying soul beast burrowed out from the ground behind him. Wang Feng's eyes narrowed when he saw this soul beast. A blood-winged dragon beetle. Wang Feng looked at the terrifying thing that had burrowed out from the ground. More than 60,000 years old? Why is it here? Could it be that he was attracted by my aura? This kind of soul beast is extremely violent. I'm afraid it's attracted to my dark aura. Wang Feng knew that something was wrong. This kind of ferocious soul beast was only slightly inferior to Air Ming. When he first came, he bragged that he wanted to fight with Air Ming, but he was just bragging. Wang Feng didn't want to be beaten up. But this blood-winged dragon beetle is injured. Is it injured when it fought with the soul master beside Qian Rinxue? But it doesn't seem to be very serious. Wang Feng thought for a while and felt that the situation was a little tricky. He didn't have much soul power left. If it was in its best state, Wang Feng would dare to try to kill it with the Pango axe. But now, even the energy stored in the Black Lotus was almost used up. Although the two types of martial souls didn't conflict, it consumed too much energy to use them. Let's retreat first. I can go to the depths of the forest and use the card. Wang Feng thought. But just as he thought so, he saw Qian Rinxue panting and staring at him. She struggled slightly, obviously wanting to get up and run, but she didn't have the strength to stand up. She was beaten up a little by Wang Feng just now. Wait, if I leave like this, she will die. Wang Feng was stunned. Suddenly, he thought that if Qian Rinxue died here, the Douluo world would change greatly, right? No. If Qian Rinxue died, the Martial Spirit Palace would definitely be furious. With her mother's temper, she might even start the plan to unify the continent in advance. Wouldn't it be over? End of this chapter. Chapter 279. I can't let her die like this. If she dies, there will be too many variables. I'm not strong enough yet. I can't even defeat a titled Dalu, and I'm only rank 40. Wang Feng thought for a moment before he walked over to Qian Rinxue. What are you trying to do? Qian Rinxue asked coldly. Without another word, Wang Feng carried Qian Rinxue on his shoulder. Then he glanced at the wild flame howling sky tiger that was as big as a small truck. With one hand, he dragged Qian Rinxue into the depths of the forest. The blood-winged dragon beetle seemed to have discovered Wang Feng's figure as it charged towards him. Unfortunately, Wang Feng was too fast. For the sake of speed, Wang Feng removed his mysterious underworld armor and increased his speed by several times. Wang Feng carried the Qian Rinxue as he ran deeper into the forest. However, the earthquake continued to sound behind him. Wang Feng could feel that his aura had been locked onto. No matter how fast he was, he couldn't escape from his opponent's sight. I can't keep running like this. Wang Feng frowned. Even if Wang Feng hid his dark angel martial soul, he couldn't avoid being locked onto by a 60,000-year-soul beast. This wasn't Erming. Because of Xiao Wu, Erming didn't kill them back then. This bloodwing dragon beetle was different. Qian Renshua, who was on Wang Feng's shoulder, was stunned when Wang Feng lifted her up. Why did this person save me? Qian Renshua's mind was in a mess. This trip was second only to her experience of infiltrating the Heaven Do Empire. She didn't find Wang Feng. Instead, she found the aura that had appeared 7 years ago. She even saw him in person. Although she didn't know who he was, she was beaten up. Now, she was saved by him again. She was trying her best to escape from the bloodwing dragon beetle. Qian Renshue could also sense the aura locked onto by the bloodwing dragon beetle. If only there was something that could block my aura. Wait for me to recover. I'll use my pango axe to kill you, you stinking bug. Wang Feng panted slightly. Unknowingly, Wang Feng felt that his soul power was slowly being consumed, and his soul power was gradually becoming empty. At this time, Wang Feng concealed the soul-slaying spear. However, he did not dare to remove the dark angel martial spirit's possession, because once it was removed, his speed would greatly decrease. He would definitely be eaten by the bloodwing dragon beetle. At this time, he couldn't count on the meteoric tear, because even if it reached its limit, it would definitely be eaten before it could recover. They all needed time. Qian Renshue fell silent. She could also feel that her soul power was rapidly depleting. She probably wouldn't be able to hold on for much longer. The bloodwing dragon beetles behind them were getting closer and closer. It began to fly into the air, coupled with its aura lock. Even if Wang Feng was faster than it, the gap between them would not be too big. Put me down, Qian Renshue said calmly. How much faster do you think I can run if I put you down? With your physique, you'll be gone in one bite. You won't even be able to stop it for a second. Wang Feng couldn't help but laugh hoarsely. If you were a soul beast right now, maybe I could throw you out and let him have a few more bites. Qian Renshue. With that, Wang Feng threw the wild flame howling divine tiger in his hand towards the bloodwing dragon beetle. Sure enough, when the dragon beetle saw the wild flame howling divine tiger, it was slightly stunned. It opened its mouth and swallowed it directly. The chewing sound was abnormally loud, causing Qian Renshue's entire body to go numb. However, such a huge wild flame howling divine tiger could not stop the dragon beetle's speed. It continued to chew while charging towards Wang Feng. Did you see that? You don't even have a tenth of this howling divine tiger's size. If I throw you in, you'll probably turn into its feces. Wang Feng's hoarse voice carried a hint of ridicule. Qian Renshue was silent for a moment before saying calmly, "Then let's die together." Die my ass. I don't want to die. Wang Feng thought to himself. He was about to reach the depths. According to Wang Feng's idea, if he ran towards the depths and ran to Erming's side, the crisis would naturally be resolved. Erming knew him and was at least Xiao Wu's friend, right? It was better than falling into the mouth of this stinky bug. Secondly, if he could get something good by punching in, he could also avoid the crisis. Both of them could solve this crisis. Seeing that Wang Feng did not speak, Qian Renshue also fell silent. There was only the whistling of the wind in their ears. This was the first time Qian Renshue had been carried on someone's shoulder like this, but she did not feel much. The crisis of death made her think too much at this moment. After a long time, sensing that the dragon beetle was getting closer and closer, Qian Renshue suddenly asked in a low voice, "What's your name?" Wang Feng did not answer this time. The trees in front of them suddenly became denser, and the steep terrain was undulating. The weak soul beasts around them had long been scared away by the dragon beetle's aura. Not long after, Wang Feng suddenly saw a small cave in front of them. Almost without hesitation, Wang Feng threw Qian Renshue in. "It's useless. The dragon beetle can sense us." However, Wang Feng did not speak. The cave was dark, and Qian Renshue could not see clearly, but she knew that Wang Feng was also in. "Catch me," Wang Feng said in a low voice. Qian Renshue was stunned and could only hold on to his shoulder. At this moment, a bone-like crown suddenly appeared on Wang Feng's head, faintly glowing. Then, The aura of the two seemed to have merged into the darkness and disappeared. Roar, roar, roar. At this moment, the dragon beetle's violent roar came from outside. It seemed to be angry. Why did its prey disappear? It had chased them all the way here, but its aura disappeared. It seemed to be a little unwilling, and this blood-red dragon beetle kept roaring in the sky. Qianrenchue's heart was pounding, and she was a little confused. It seemed that the dragon beetle's aura that locked onto us disappeared. How did it do that? After a while, the roar slowly disappeared. Seeing this, Qianrenchue suddenly heaved a sigh of relief. Wang Feng's eyes were slightly fixed on the front, and he thought to himself, that was too dangerous. Because just now, ding, congratulations to the host for successfully carding. You have received a mysterious soul bone. Please feel it yourself. The host has a 30,000-year soul ring. You have received an additional reward. The soul ring's age has increased to 2,000 years. Please choose. Ding. The next carding location is the Pope's Palace. There are no requirements, but there are additional rewards. After more than a year, finally, the sound of carding was heard. And this time, he received a mysterious soul bone from the system. It was the skull soul bone that was attached to Wang Feng's head just now. At the moment when he received it, Wang Feng did not know its other functions, but he knew one thing. It could conceal one's aura. The system's products were all high quality, and Wang Feng did not doubt it. He did not expect to be given a skull soul bone this time. The skull soul bone was the rarest apart from the external soul bone and the torso bone. This soul bone was a little like Sun Wukong's golden band incantation. It looked a little strange on the head, and it was black. In the darkness, it was hard to tell. End of this chapter. Chapter 280. The moment it appeared, Wang Feng immediately used it to shield his and the Qianrenchue's auras. It seemed like he could shield himself as long as he came into contact with it. However, it drained a lot of his spiritual power. Both of them seemed to be covered by a transparent energy cloak. It was this energy cloak that blocked the dragon beetle's aura. Wang Feng heaved a sigh of relief. I'll study this soul bone when I'm fully recovered. I'll take my revenge on this dragon beetle then. Both of them didn't speak in the pitch-black cave. They could only hear each other's heartbeats. Wang Feng's dark humanoid martial soul was also deactivated. A 60,000-year soul beast was extremely ferocious. Wang Feng didn't expect to be hunted down by such a ferocious soul beast. It seems like I should use this dark angel martial soul less. Furthermore, I feel like this martial soul needs special nourishment to improve. Wang Fengxin thought to himself. He was a little fearful of this dark angel martial soul. It was too easy to lose one's rationality when faced with such a cold and evil attack. The demonic aura of the soul-slaying spear was already very troublesome. Now, there was the dark angel martial soul. Although it was very cool and powerful, it was very troublesome. Actually, the soul-slaying spear was still fine. After a long while, the Qianrenchue seemed to regain her senses. Vaguely, Wang Feng could smell a faint fragrance coming from Qianrenchue, but he did not know if it came from her. Wang Feng didn't say much. After he hid the skull, he took out a bunch of things from his soul tool, including flint and combustible materials. Not long after, the fire lit up in the cave. Wang Feng also saw the Qianrenchue. The swollen areas on her body seemed to have recovered. Evidently, her martial soul's recovery ability wasn't bad. In addition, Wang Feng didn't hit her too hard, so she recovered very quickly. However, her face was a little pale. Her hair was also a little loose. However, because she was dressed as a man, she looked a little weird. Wang Feng didn't know if she had used some special method to change her appearance. Was this her original appearance? We'll rest for a day. Tomorrow, we'll go our separate ways, Wang Feng said casually. Qianrenchue stared at Wang Feng. No matter how fast Wang Feng had run, his mask was still on. The terrifying dark angel martial soul also disappeared, and she returned to her normal size. In the dim light of the fire, Qianrenchue could only see the general shape of his opponent. He was a little smaller than when he was possessed by the martial soul. How'd you do it just now? You blocked the dragon beetle's senses? Qian Rinxue suddenly asked. Wang Feng glanced at her, but did not answer. How could he possibly tell Qian Rinxue about the skull? You should be thankful that it saved your life. Moreover, he did not have the time to examine it carefully, and he did not want to reveal his skull in front of Qian Rinxue. At this moment, there was still a bonfire. It was very obvious that they could see it clearly. Qian Rinxue didn't ask further since Wang Feng didn't want to talk about it. My surname is Xue. My name is Xue Rinqian. What's your name? Wang Feng thought for a while and replied with a hoarse voice. My name is Feng Yuxiu. Qian Rinxue muttered a few words. He didn't find it strange. It was a very normal name. Why did you save me? Qian Rinxue stared at Wang Feng. Because I didn't want to kill you, Wang Feng said. Qian Rinxue was stunned for a moment. I know you didn't want to kill me, but what does that have to do with you saving me? Your martial soul is special. If you were eaten by this soul beast, it would mutate and become stronger. I'm afraid I wouldn't even have a chance to escape. Seeing that Qian Rinxue was stunned, Wang Feng started to talk nonsense. That makes sense. I forgot about that. However, Qian Rinxue nodded. Wang Feng, no matter what, I still have to thank you. You saved my life. I'll remember it. Qian Rinxue said, Oh yes, you'd better not release your martial soul casually in the future. Otherwise, it will cause a lot of trouble. Dark Angel Martial Soul, if he released it outside, the Martial Soul Hall would definitely catch him first. The Martial Soul Hall's Grand Elder, Qian Dalu, had a six-winged angel martial soul. The Qian family could be said to have inherited the angel martial soul. If such an evil and dark martial soul appeared, the Martial Soul Hall would definitely catch him. And then, however, Qian Rinxue could feel that even though her opponent's dark angel martial soul could restrain her, there was also a special force that was attracting her. Wang Feng didn't answer. He knew that even if Qian Rinxue didn't say it. At this moment, there was a sudden rumbling sound. It was the sound of a hungry stomach. Qian Rinxue blushed. Is there no food in your soul tool? Wang Feng asked. The food is with my subordinates. Qian Rinxue shook his head. I don't have much food in my soul tool. I didn't expect you to be a young master. Wang Feng's voice was hoarse as he laughed. As he spoke, he took out the dry rations prepared by his soul tool and passed them to Qian Rinxue. Qian Rinxue took them, but didn't eat them. Why do you suspect it's poisonous? Wang Feng shook his head and ate them. The dry rations were meat patties. They could be eaten after being roasted over the fire. Seeing this, Qian Rinxue ate them in small bites. As someone who often came to the Great Star Doe Forest to fight soul beasts, Wang Feng naturally prepared all kinds of dry rations. That dragon beetle should still be nearby. We have to stay in this cave for a day or two. Wang Feng said casually. He planned to recover and recharge his energy. After leaving with Qian Rinxue tomorrow, he would go and fight that dragon beetle. Okay, Qian Rinxue didn't say much either. After eating, Wang Feng looked around. This cave wasn't big. It should be the habitat of some small soul beast, but it should be dead. There were only a few bones on the ground and some weathered excrement. Looking at this excrement, it should be the nest of a goldbiter rat, but it should be dead, killed by other soul beasts. Wang Feng looked around and said, This kind of weak soul beast nest won't attract powerful soul beasts for the time being. His understanding of soul beasts was not inferior to that of a master, or even better. After all, he was fighting soul beasts for real, not just theory. You know a lot. Have you always lived here? Qian Rinxue asked curiously. She remembered that the last time she sensed the aura of his martial soul, it seemed to be in the Great Star Doe Forest. Why are you asking so many questions? Wang Feng chuckled. Why should I tell you? Forget it if you don't want to say. Qian Rinxue wasn't angry and shook his head lightly. After eating, the two of them did their own things. Qian Rinxue didn't have much soul power left, so he closed his eyes and began to meditate to recover. Wang Feng began to sense the information of the skull. He was in a hurry just now. Just by sensing a little, Wang Feng felt the terrifying spiritual power gushing out of the skull and instantly attacking his spirit. This skull, I'm afraid it's not simple. Wang Feng was slightly surprised. Generally, soul bones came with skills. Wang Feng had used the first skill of this skull, just now. It was similar to concealing one's aura. It could even conceal the aura of a 60,000-year soul beast, which meant that it could completely conceal the aura of a soul Douluo. The key was that it could conceal not only its own aura, but also others. End of chapter. Chapter 281. Speaking of which, if my whole body is tempered with red lotus karmic fire, I should be able to achieve this effect, right? But I can't help others. Wang Feng thought for a while and named this first soul skill, misconcealment, because when it was used, the whole body would be enveloped in a layer of faint energy light mist. And the second soul skill, Wang Feng also felt it. To have a second soul skill, it meant that this skull was at least 100,000 years old. The second soul skill was perception. To be more precise, it was to perceive the opponent's martial soul, soul ring, and strength. Wait, this skull doesn't look like a soul beast from the Douluo world. Wang Feng murmured. The skull looked a little like the golden hoop incantation, but in the middle, there were two sharp tentacles. It looked even better, and it was slightly bigger. It looked more like a crown. The system was too mysterious. He had to study the things given by himself. But it was also quite interesting. Wang Fengxin thought, and the skull slowly appeared. He stared at the Qian Rinxua in an instant. A series of information appeared in his mind. Martial soul, six-winged angel martial soul. Soul rings, double yellow, double purple, one black. Level 60. The seemingly simple information made Wang Feng's eyes flash, because Wang Feng could vaguely feel that the second soul skill seemed to be able to see the opponent's soul skill. But because his spiritual power was not strong enough, the degree of information was dependent on his spiritual power and the gap in soul power level. It was also at this time that Qian Rinxua opened her eyes. Seeing this, Wang Feng quickly hid the soul bone. The Qian Rinxua looked at Wang Feng and frowned. You looked at me just now? No, you looked, I felt it. Hearing this, Wang Feng thought to himself, it seems that the gap in level is easy to be noticed by the opponent. Thinking about it, I'm level 40 and she's level 60. It's normal for her to be a little aware. You didn't look at me. How did you know I was looking at you? Wang Feng didn't want to admit it. Don't interrupt. The Qian Rinxua said lightly. Did you have any intentions just now? The feeling of being seen through by the opponent, the Qian Rinxua rarely felt. Even a soul, the law wouldn't be able to see through her disguise. But just now, Qian Rinxua had the illusion that he had been seen through. This was not something that could be done with just a few glances. You're a man. What could I possibly want from you? Wang Feng sneered. Qian Rinxua fell silent. That seems to be the case. He doesn't know my identity, nor does he know my disguise. To be more precise, he has never seen me before. What could he possibly want from me? Could it be that it was an illusion just now? Qian Rinxua was not thinking about it. At this moment, night fell. Wang Feng took out some bedding from his soul tool that he would use in the wilderness. The inside of the cave was full of bumps and hollows, and it was very uncomfortable. Wang Feng's mental state was a little fatigued from the various emotions he had experienced the day before. The main reason was that the impact from the two martial spirits was too strong. Even Wang Feng could not stand it anymore. He thought to himself that he would take a good night's sleep and recover before going to look for the dragon beetle tomorrow. Qian Rinxua watched from the side. She thought to herself, Dream Shinji and the other two should be looking for me right now, right? The three of them should not have died. They should have only blocked the dragon beetle for a while. Tired, Wang Feng glanced at Qian Rinxua. Naturally, he could see the fatigue on her face. Speaking of which, Qian Rinxua had been on the road for a whole day. Then, she was beaten up so badly that she had no energy left. Then, she had to run for a while. Her mental fluctuations were no less than his. Are you going to give it to me? Qian Rinxua looked at the clean bedding that Wang Feng had laid out and asked softly. She also wanted to sleep now. In your dreams, go sleep on a rock. I don't have such a good relationship with you, Wang Feng said angrily. Qian Renxue raised her eyebrows. However, the calmness that she had cultivated over the years prevented her from getting angry. She had no right to be angry. Touching the cold rock, Qian Renxue spread some licorice and lay down. She glanced at Feng Yuxiu from the corner of her eyes and realized that he had fallen asleep. This person is too mysterious. Qian Renxue thought carefully about what had happened today. Looking at the situation, he seemed to have twin martial souls. He had no soul rings, and his rank was a mystery. But he could completely suppress her. After being beaten up, Qian Renxue had nothing to say because she was the one who attacked first. But she did not expect that he would be able to escape with her from the mouth of the blood-winged dragon beetle. Could it be a soul skill that blocked the aura at the end? Why didn't he use it earlier? What kind of soul skill can block the aura of a 60,000-year-soul beast? Qian Renxue thought to herself. She was very smart, but at this moment, she felt that the man who was only 2 hands away from her was extremely mysterious. This should be the first time I've slept so close to a man, and a complete stranger on top of that. Qian Renxue had a different thought in her mind. Thinking about it, she felt that it was ridiculous, but it happened. Fortunately, the other party did not know that she was a woman. Although she spread the licorice, these bumpy rocks made Qian Renxue a little uncomfortable. But Qian Renxue only frowned slightly and did not say anything. The fire that was still emitting residual heat was slowly extinguished, and the temperature was gradually getting cold. Qian Renxue did not feel cold, but her heart was slightly cold. Tomorrow morning, I hope that the dragon beetle disappeared from the vicinity. Qian Renxue slowly closed her eyes. At this moment, Wang Feng suddenly stood up and said in a deep voice, I thought about it. This is the depths of the forest. Although this cave is very hidden, if both of us sleep, it is easy to be attacked by soul beasts. You sleep with me first, I will keep watch for a while. 3 hours later, I will wake you up and you will keep watch. I will sleep. After saying that, Wang Feng walked out of the cave. Hearing this, Qian Renxue opened her eyes and was startled. However, Qian Renxue admired the other party's vigilance and steadiness. After thinking for a while, Qian Renxue walked to the bedding that Wang Feng had prepared. Suddenly, her face became slightly rosy. Because the bedding had a trace of warmth, it was obviously left by Wang Feng. After lying down, Qian Renxue heaved a sigh of relief. It was so much more comfortable with bedding. Soon, Qian Renxue fell into a deep sleep. On the 3rd day, when Qian Renxue woke up, she found that the sky was already bright. Seeing this, Qian Renxue was startled and suddenly stood up. Feng Yuxiu? She called out softly. The cave was already somewhat bright, but there was still no response. He left? Qian Renxue was startled. He didn't wake me up? He just left? Suddenly, Qian Renxue felt slightly disappointed and immediately shook her head. At this moment, a figure walked in from outside. Oh, you're awake? The person who came was Wang Feng. He glanced at Qian Renxue and could not help but scold. Why did you sleep like a pig? I couldn't even wake you up last night. You made me meditate outside for an entire night. Wang Feng walked in with a roasted rabbit in his hand. Qian Renxue looked at Wang Feng and suddenly felt a little awkward. She thought to herself, did I sleep very deeply last night? He didn't even wake me up? Wang Feng walked over and placed the rabbit in front of Qian Renxue, saying calmly, eat this. Let's eat. After eating, we can leave for the time being. Qian Renxue looked at the rabbit and frowned. I'm only a vegetarian. This rabbit, but before she could finish her sentence. If you don't want to eat it, I'll throw it away. You talk too much. Wang Feng's hoarse voice interrupted her directly. He did not care about her at all. Qian Renxue thought for a while and ate it. While eating, Qian Renxue looked at Wang Feng and found that Wang Feng was full of energy and did not look like he did not rest for the entire night. She could not help but feel a little surprised. But she did not know that Wang Feng had been studying the skull for the entire night when he was on guard duty last night. The more he studied, the more energetic he became. This was because the effect of this skull soul bone was much greater than Wang Feng had imagined. In addition to the 2 soul skills, it also provided an extremely strong spiritual boost and a strong spiritual recovery ability. By the way, what are you going to do later? Qian Rinxue glanced at Wang Feng. Although he still could not see the rabbit's face, it was inexplicably more pleasing to the eye. This roasted rabbit was also more delicious than he had imagined. Hunting soul beasts. Wang Feng said calmly. What kind of soul beasts are you going to hunt? Why don't we go together? I happen to want to hunt one too. Qian Rinxue's eyes lit up slightly. However, Wang Feng's words made Qian Rinxue stunned. I want to hunt blood-winged dragon beetles. Are you sure you want to go together? End of 10 chapters. This chapter ends that you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.